he's brought back some fantastic ideas. And look, it gives everyone the want to come to the footy, or even some players who may be sitting on the fence about where they're going to play, make the decision that they're going to go and play where there are some ex-AFL players. So I think it's a big plus for everyone.
Well, it looks like Gibson, who was selected to go down back, is in fact heading in that direction. When I did speak to a couple of people since the announcement of the teams where he was selected down back, and they suspected that might be a bit of a furphy, that he might actually appear up forward, because he'd be a weapon, wouldn't he?
Oh, certainly be fantastic up forward, either end of the ground. So it's going to be interesting to see if he plays his usual intercept mark type of game. He's sort of starting, right on the line here, so he may even sort of charge through the first couple of stoppages, Wes, and it'll be interesting to see what impact he has on the game.
Cam McCallum starting the ruck for North Ballarat, and of course he has some experience as a basketballer. Always good to watch the ex-basketballers and just their ball sense and awareness, and he'll have a task on his hand today as we're about to get underway in the Ballarat Toyota match of the day with Wes Cusworth and also Brett Henderson as the big boys go at it on this occasion. The ball goes to ground, and it's going to be first use and first kick of the footy from Josh Gibson, who we spoke about. Could have been a push in the back there, not paid. The umpire calls play on. Ball spills out to the outer side of the ground, and Tom Bromley Lynch has an opportunity, and a North Ballarat player wrapped up there, and will have the umpire intervening and calling for a ball up. Plenty of noise in the background here at Mars Stadium. We've got the big trucks over there at the showground, so car parking was at a premium today, as we're going to have another ball up just a metre or so away from the initial one, as the big boys set themselves once again. This time it looks like it was Powling winning the ball to ground, and contested football once again, and no real clear passages of play yet, Hendo.
No, none, Wes, but I'm just watching Josh Gibson. He's just doing what he wants to do. He's not even picking up anyone, so he's happy to sit out the back of these stoppages and be the connection player for the Swans.
Sam James has his kick smothered. Ball spills out to the advantage of Domick, and he is dispossessed, and in fact it's going to go the way of the Roosters at right half back. No score yet in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day, and the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League contest between North Ballarat and the Ballarat Swans. The Roosters retreat with the kick, and now they're going to progress to the outer side of the ground. Oh, it's kicking to a 3-on-1, but North Ballarat do really well through the middle there. Polkinghorn, he'll send the ball forward. It's a 1-on-1 contest. Going at it there was Loverson. Ball goes to ground. Oh, they thought to wait for one another. That might be riding there. Takes an opportunity on the left. Kicks on goal, and first blood to the Roosters. And in fact, it is Jack Riding, who is coming off the back of what's been a highly successful Premier cricket season with Geelong just down the road. And with all the poise required there, Hendo, got the Roosters away to a great start.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great build-up for them. They sort of played that
contest.
100%.
Going at it there was Loverson. Ball goes to ground.
They used the option that was on, and they sort of got to half back and decided to go quick.
An opportunity on the left. Kicks on
the
goal.
man that Josh Gibson probably could have been on. And it's going to be interesting again, because once again he's come up to the line, and his opposition players sort of just drop back towards goal.
Well, that's an opportunity, isn't it, for the Roosters to potentially try to exploit that? Because, I mean, where he creates that freedom for himself, obviously that leaves a man with a bit of availability. Back in the middle of Mars Stadium. Ball to ground. Here's an opportunity for the Swans, although taken by the Roosters on this occasion. Throwing it on the boot is Polkinghorn. Gibson spills the mark. Ball goes to ground. Here's another opportunity opening up for Arts. Arts with a shot on goal, and he misses to the right. An opportunity missed, but nonetheless, really good positive football by the Roosters.
Young Tom Hodgson, who's playing on Gibson's, been sort of involved in both of those scoring forays, so it might be time for Josh to perhaps tighten up maybe a little bit.
Bailey Fraser on the left. Kicks to a 2-on-1 situation, opens the door for the Roosters. The ball goes to ground, and the umpire says you've gone over the shoulder there on that occasion, and it's going to be North Ballarat to go forward once again. So the Roosters kick to the hot spot. Could have been a little nudge there as Loverson flew for the mark. Ball goes to ground. Opportunity opens up. Snap on goal. What a goal, Jamie Quick. Whoa, what a great start for the Roosters. And once again, poise on the left, curling it around, and the Roosters are away to a 13-point advantage.
Just a couple of times where they've been able to get that football to probably what you'd call the position of most opportunity, just out in front of the goal square.
So the Roosters
they get the big
to the
guys
hot
to
spot.
fly for it. Smalls
Could
hit
have
the
been
deck.
a little nudge there as Lovison
Gather
flew
the
for
ball
the mark.
and
Ball goes to
shots on
ground.
goal.
Opportunity
And,
opens up.
good
Snap on
solid
goal.
football.
What a
So
goal, Jamie Quinn.
no doubt Ballarat will be just thinking about what their next. Try and go fast, or do they try and slow it down a little bit and just take a bit of gas out of the game?
Well, they've just got to control possession right now, because at the moment we're only 4 minutes into this contest, the Ballarat Toyota match of the day, and the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard says 2-1-13 North Ballarat leading the Swans. Yet to score, but the Swans have an opportunity now. They retreat with the handball, and then the kick forward's not a great one. It's a bit of a scrubber, and it turns the footy over. Opportunity now for Harry Loader to send his side forward, but drifting back and taking a good mark with confidence is Nick Swain. Swain switches to the outer side of the ground. It's a little too heavily weighted. He set a real task for Aidan Domick there, and the ball out of bounds to be thrown in some 65 metres around from the North Ballarat goals.
Aidan Domick's a very good player, Wes, for Ballarat. You know, he was a very talented junior for the Geelong Falcons, and be interested to see what his impact he has today.
Front possession is with McCallum, the ex-miner, but the ball taken away by the Swans. Kick to half forward. It was a 2-on-2 situation and a nice mark drifting back Ryan Hobbs. He switches play, comes out wide to Jacob Duffy. Duffy's handball, and now they might be away through the agency of Elliot Lamb, although, no, winning it away is the Swans. Once again, the contested footy. Riding's a long way from home. And now North Ballarat come to the commentary side of the ground, drifting back and taking a good mark, running the same direction of the footy as Sam Arts. Arts goes with a short option, spots up Charlie Perks. Perks now hugs the wing, kicks to a contested situation, fisted away on this occasion by Bailey Fraser. Back of the pack, off the ground, going is Riley Polkinghorn. Oh, missing an opportunity there was Jamie Quick. Just the handball was just perhaps a little bit sharp for him there on that occasion, and now the Swans are able to take it away. And the kick forward is misguided, and it's cut off on this occasion by Duffy. Duffy squares it up, finds Toos, who in turn squares it up even further, and now switching to the fat side of the ground, and the mark's taken by Tom Bromley Lynch. Bromley Lynch retreats with a kick. Hobbs, the ex-VFL Frankston listed player, although they're going to turn it over. There's no one forward for the Swans, so they've really got to assess their situation here. Could be a long kick on goal, no, a short option. Was it touched? No, the umpire says, in fact, it is a mark, and the Swans are going to have a shot on goal from 35 metres out directly in front.
Just some good pressure from the Swans there. North Ballarat like to use the hands, Wes, from what I'm seeing, in tight, and then transition the ball from one side of the ground to the other and make the ground bigger in the back half to sort of open up some space for their players.
Looks like Mitch McGrath with a shot on goal for the Swans. He comes in now. Shot on goal is lovely indeed, and that is the ideal beginning for Mitch McGrath as he kicks a goal and just brings that margin back to 7 points. 2-1-13 the North Ballarat Roosters, the Ballarat Swans, the one straight goal on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard.
That'll just give them a bit of confidence, Wes. You know, they were under siege there for a bit, just to slow the game back, get a little bit of pressure back on the scoreboard. And I just like the way that they pressured the handballing of the North Ballarat team then and just managed to turn the footy over. And, you know, hopefully they can continue to do that to really make this a really good game.
Well, that was key, wasn't it, really, that pressure when North Ballarat had the footy. They did work their way back into the contest. Here's an opportunity for the Swans once again, although a few players there left it for one another. Oh, ridden into the turf on that occasion. It's going to be the Swans with the recipients of the free kick, and in fact it's going to be Carter Prendergast. So Prendergast, he's going to be run down from behind. Might have been touched, called to play on by the umpire. Taken now by Toos. He is dispossessed. The Swans play on immediately. The quick kick inside 50. An opportunity is missed by the Swans as we see sweeping across half back is Ryan Hobbs. Hobbs goes to the outer side of the ground and the mark's taken by Ned Nash. Nash waited to Harry Loader. Still defensive wing. Outer side of the ground. Selkirk brick. Chimney in the background. Here at Mars Stadium. Long kick alongside that outer side of the ground, fisted away. Jamie Quick flew high, just wanted to bring the ball to ground. Ball spills out to the advantage of McCallum. McCallum with a looping handball over the top. It might come back to Jamie Quick. He's one of our two goal kickers for North Ballarat. There's Gibson, one of the few players wearing long sleeves, and called too high on this occasion. And it's going to be the Swans at half-back. And it might be Carter Prendergast as he goes with a short option, finds Sam James, who in turn weights his kick beautifully to Taylor Sutton, who in turn works it out wide to Jake Drever. Drever inside 50. He's got a one-on-one situation. The foot race is on, and in fact, neither player is able to reel that one in, and it's over the line, 25 metres around. As much as the players were working hard there, Hendo, they didn't have the pace of the Ballarat Swans runner, Matty Wiltshire, the 2012 Stall Gift winner, who must be the quickest message deliverer in the Ballarat Football League.
You almost think he's out there full time, Wes. He's on and off that quick.
He's a very athletic man, our Matt Wiltshire. North Ballarat, the kick. Works it outside defensive, 50. Hold called by the umpire. Well, Jack Riding not endearing himself to some of his Swans rivals there at the moment. The umpire says, just calm down there, Jake Drever. You've got the free kick. Don't get too excited. 2-1-13 plays one straight 6 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. As Drever it is, sends his side inside 50. Pack forms, big fist away. You love that as a coach, don't you? That defensive work there on that occasion by Harry Loader.
Just to kill the ball off, Wes. And I think this game's starting to bubble along a bit now. There's starting to be a little bit of feeling in it. I think both sides have found their way a bit, and it's going to be a great contest.
Big men set themselves, work to ground by McCallum. Pack forms, umpire says we'll have a ball up. I'm just so pleased that the conditions are as good as they are, befitting of a contest like this, because I do genuinely believe that these two sides are going to be amongst the action. Oh, now a shepherd's been called. What are your thoughts there, Hendo?
Look, it was a bit of a hard one, in a 50-50 contest, but obviously umpire's a bit closer to it than what we are. But, it gives, young Mitch McGrath his second opportunity to hit the scoreboard, and his last kick was sort of from a similar distance, and he looks to have the skill set to be able to finish this one off.
So McGrath looking for goal number 2 to draw his side back within 1 point. He comes in now. Kick off the boot. There's a bit of right to left about it, and in fact he misses to the left. So disappointing result for Mitch McGrath. I know he would have hoped for better there on that occasion. One straight kick separates the two sides on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. 2-1-13 plays 1-1-7. North Ballarat look to the outer side of the ground and a load up Harry Loader, who in turn goes out very wide. In fact, so wide that it has actually gone over the boundary on the full, and hands the footy back to the Swans. Inboard, Waitman, squaring it up. Swain, short options on, finds Liston. They'll come to the fat side of the ground, which is the commentary side of the ground, and the mark's taken by Perry. Perry with a short man on. And Jack Blackburn. Well, now they're controlling the football a great deal better, Hendo.
Yeah, they are, and it's because they're set up behind the ball, Wes. They've got 2 spares now, as you can see, so it's going to be really hard for North Ballarat to penetrate that.
Jake Drever, I just think he was in 2 minds there, which has affected his execution there on that occasion. Wearing a heavy tackle is Riley Polkinghorn. He knew that was coming, and ultimately the umpire intervenes and says, we will have a ball up. 2-1-13 plays 1-1-7 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Big men form their positions once again, thrown to ground. Oh, heavy contact on the ground there by that North Ballarat player in Fletcher Loader. Never good to see. Opportunity for Perry. Perry, looping handball over the top. Gibson inboard with the handball. Here's an opportunity for the Swans. Building through the agency of Prendergast. Kick towards the goal square. The men fly. Taken on this occasion by Daniel Kennedy. He tries to work it back inboard. Eventually the Swans once again with a little kick towards the top of the square. There's plenty of North Ballarat players there, and ultimately they do what all coaches would be hoping for, Hendo, see it over the line.
Yeah, just pull it off. But once again, Wes, I think that 2 spares behind the ball for Ballarat are really driving scoring opportunities. So it may be a bit of concern for Brendan McCartney and the North Ballarat coaching panel.
Well, Isaac Carey will be disappointed with the result there. And the ball has been held up in the forward pocket for the Swans. They trail by 5 points. Approaching the 14-minute mark of this first quarter in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Opportunity for the Swans. Sam James. Kick high. Front man takes the mark. That's what you want from your forwards, and Keegan Mellington has delivered.
The game's changed in the last 5 minutes. It really has. Like, Ballarat are just controlling everything. They're controlling possession, they're controlling forward 50 entries, and they're controlling the defence. So just a few little issues there.
Mellington just off centre will kick from 35 metres out. Left footer comes in and has hit the woodwork. 139, the Ballarat Swans trail North Ballarat Roosters 2-1-13 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. This is the Ballarat Toyota match of the day. The Roosters come to the commentary side of the ground. Didn't make clean connection there on that occasion, and that just opens the door for the Swans to lock it in just outside their attacking 50. And the umpire becomes a part of the action once again.
Mitch McGrath looks really lively for Ballarat, Wes. He's got the makeup, has been a very good forward.
Good leap on that occasion by Powling, sees the ball to ground. Opportunity for the Roosters to clean up. Some good volleyball work there on that occasion by the Roosters, although dispossessed was Adam Turley. And that was good work by the big fella in Marcus Powling, who sends it forward once again. Kicks to 45. The pack forms and the pack leaps and the ball comes to ground. McCallum's fighting hard. Always good to see the big men working hard below knee level. And the umpire says we'll have a ball up some 35 metres out from goal. Hard up against the boundary here at Mars Stadium. McCallum up against a much smaller opponent in McGrath there on that occasion. Tried to work it back over his head, and we're going to have another ball up.
I know North is still in front on the scoreboard, but as far as time in forward 50, I think it'd be Ballarat.
It's a really good contest. Enjoying this one here at Mars Stadium. Ball to ground. Swans have the numbers. North Ballarat have the footy. Umpire has control and intervenes with a whistle once again. 2-1-13 plays 139 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Wes Cusworth and Brett Henderson providing the commentary in today's contest. Opportunity for the Roosters to clear. Bursting through the pack. Although good defensive pressure there provided by the Swans. He's going to lock it in once again. So seemingly a scrappy few minutes of play, but that just says heaps about this contest and the level of intensity.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the Ballarat forwards working extremely hard to keep that ball in.
Here's the kick outside defensive 50. The Swans have the numbers once again, but it was a good fist away there by Jamie Quick. Just didn't want the ball to fall to the Swans. There's no one in the attacking half of the ground for North Ballarat as the Swans take possession once again. What can they do by way of controlling this one? Garner puts it out wide to a teammate. Could have been held there on that occasion, Waitman. Umpire says no. Taken by Jamie Quick. Provides them a bit of space for Fletcher Toos. He takes a bounce. He works his way to the boundary, then kicks inside 50. Fisted away. The target was Hodgson. He eventually takes the footy, works it over to Quick. Quick dispossessed of the football. Umpire says, you had an opportunity, you didn't dispose, and it's going to be deep in defence, and the Ballarat Swans once again to relieve the pressure.
Just really good pressure from the Swans defence then, and unfortunately North Ballarat just didn't have many forward options as they were coming into that forward 50.
Swans at defensive 50. 2-1-13 plays 139. Long kick towards the outer wing, fisted away and over the boundary line in front of the McDonald's Ballarat signage. And of course, this is the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League match of the day, the Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Ball thrown in. This time it was Lovison doing the ruck work for North Ballarat, but it was a shortish throw in there on that occasion. And in fact, the contest is going to result in a free kick going the way of Fletcher Loader.
Now a chance for North Ballarat to score, because if they equalise the numbers forward of the ball, they're a chance.
We've travelled 18 minutes into this first quarter. Long kick out wide, and that's not a great result for the Roosters.
No, that's going to make it very difficult to score. You just need to get that ball into a dangerous position and probably just going way too wide then.
He obviously spotted Jamie quick as a target, but it didn't prove to be a good kick, but it didn't prove to be a great option there on that occasion. But plenty of pressure provided for both sides. Kick along the wing. Here's an opportunity for the Swans if they can take possession. Ball comes to the advantage of Garner. Garner with an initial fumble, then a little chip kick to a man who's created space. And the Swans have it 45 metres out from goal. Tough angle. Kick towards the top of the square. 2-on-2 situation. McGrath flies. Ball falls to him. He can snap on goal. He chooses not to. He kicks to a man in the central corridor. It's a little too heavily weighted for him. And now an opportunity for North Ballarat to relieve the pressure. Although the awkward bounce on this occasion does not favour the Roosters. It's taken by Tom Mooney. Mooney's kick towards the contest. It's a 3-on-2 situation. The North Ballarat Roosters dispossessed. Intense pressure provided there on the last line. That is really, really good football, despite the fact that it resulted in seemingly scrappy play once again.
I just like McGrath, you know, he's just jumping at everything. And the reason why they got it in there was 3 North Ballarat players went up for the one marking contest on the wing. 2 Ballarat players just stayed at ground level and were able to sweep it into the forward 50.
Communication thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the kick in actually beats a number of players. It is North Ballarat taking it eventually on the outer side of the ground, and the umpire says you had prior opportunity and didn't make the most of it. The kick comes inboard, a squaring kick to Gibson, who in turn looks for a teammate. Sets the task there for Nick Swain because the ball just bounced a little short for him. Certainly wouldn't have been given out by the third umpire. Here's North Ballarat Roosters with an opportunity to clear. Ball spills to Riding. He's got a bit of room in which to move, and he finds Sam Arts. He wants to go back into the central corridor and spots up a teammate, and the mark's taken by Ned Nash. The ex-Laker, here's the call, comes to Elliot Lamb, and now a man with some space is Sam Arts again. His kick partially smothered. That was really good by Sam Fisher. Great defensive pressure. Ball at ground level once again. Look at Sam Arts with another effort, and he's deemed to have been pushed in the back. And Sam Arts is going to have a kick some 45 metres out from goal. And I just wonder if there's any bruise at all. Hendo, it might actually be coming from over his right shoulder.
Yeah, maybe, Wes. And, you know, both sides just really cracking in at the contest.
He doesn't choose to go for goal. He goes for a teammate and he spots up Ned Nash. And the Roosters will have a shot on goal. 45-degree angle, but just 25 metres out. And a player of this standard of football, Hendo, would be expected to kick this.
Yeah, absolutely. And the game's changed so much, you know, unless there's a really strong breeze. You know, the forward being tucked in behind the defender just has the advantage if the ball carries a little bit in the air. And as a result, it took the mark, shot on goal.
So the Roosters, they lead it by 3. The kick on goal from Nash is to the right. He's missed it. They lead it by 4 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. 2-2-14 plays 1-4-10, not making the most of their opportunities there on that occasion, North Ballarat.
No, and it's just a great even contest, you know. I think North Ballarat really like to give the hands at every option, whereas Ballarat are probably more a kick and mark side. But both sides, when the ball's 50-50, really going in hard. And I know Brendan McCartney's a big one for his players cracking in, and no doubt Ballarat are following that same philosophy.
I suspect the tightness of this game is a really good reflection on just the calibre of these two sides and the fact that they're going to be there. And just standing under the footy there on that occasion and showing good courage is Tom Bromley Lynch. Oh, there's a bit of push and shove. Bit of angst. Bromley Lynch wants to go, but the umpire wants to just take control of this situation. And I would recommend that one of the umpires deal with the skirmish and the other one get the footy going on as quickly as they possibly can. And that's exactly what they're going to do, because Bromley Lynch is going to be taken all the way within a couple of metres of goal. In fact, he's going to be put directly in front. So there's a secondary 50 paid, I suspect. Come on, boys. We don't want to see anyone getting rubbed out early in the season.
Yeah, very agitated Lawson Prendergast there, Wes, but as a result, North Ballarat have got a free shot at goal.
Bromley Lynch isn't even a man on the mark. He kicks directly over the goal umpire's hat. And he gives North Ballarat their third goal, 3-2-20. 23 minutes gone as they lead the Ballarat Swans 1-4-10. That, of course, is the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard.
Yeah, well, it's just a costly mistake. You know, the free kick first up and then the resultant 50. And now North Ballarat sort of skip away to a 10-point lead after Ballarat have dominated the play, probably for the best part of the last 7 or 8 minutes.
Well, and that's a very simplistic approach to the game to look at scoring shots, but the reality is we've had 5 each and it's a 10-point margin. So still so much to travel in this game. And we just hope the players continue to focus their attention on the footy. There was certainly a bit of tension in that. Here's Gibson trying to burst through the pack, dispossessed of the football. Heavy tackle, and the umpire says we'll have another ball up. Just 5 metres forward of centre. North Ballarat into attack ever so slightly. 3-2-20 plays. 1-4-10 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Leaping high, Powling wins it to ground. Umpire says there was a hold, and it's going to go the way of the Swans, Daniel Kennedy. Kennedy, a left footer, little worm burner, spots up a teammate. Oh, I'm not sure whether that didn't carry or whether he chose to play on there on that occasion. I suspect the former. But anyway, they've conceded possession, and it goes the way of Clay Jenkins, who works it out wide and tries to create a bit of space for his teammate as North Ballarat goes forward. Here's an opportunity for Ned Nash. In fact, too wide, says the boundary umpire. They've run out of tarmac. Comes to Gibson. Former Hawk champ. Great to see him back at grassroots footy. He concedes ground. Powling switches it out wide. There's a couple of Swans. They could have raffled that one. Domic progressing the football chronologically. 17-18 as Will Garner now moves further inside. And they're once again just trying to weave their way through the web that is the North Ballarat defence.
Yeah, they're happy to kick through it and take their time. And I think that's a difference between the two sides.
Gibson, look how vacant. He could have done anything with the footy there on that occasion, but he handed it off to Bailey Fraser, who sends it forward. It's a 2-on-1 situation, and that's a good defensive mark by Isaac Loverson.
Just slowing down the entries for Ballarat and North Ballarat.
Oh, yeah. Danger, Will Robinson. Oh, that's a poor turnover by North Ballarat. And Ballarat capitalise. Just pick that one apart, Hendo.
Oh, look, I think, they've slowed Ballarat down a little bit, and Ballarat are having to kick their way into the forward half and giving the North Ballarat defenders a chance to
Elliot Lamb, and now a man with some space is Sam Arts again. His kick partially smothered. That was really good by Sam Fisher. Great defensive pressure. Ball at ground level once again. Look at Sam Arts with another effort.
Option, but sort of went to a 50-50, and well done to Ballarat to pick that one off.
Yeah, Carter Prendergast brings the score back to 3-2-20 North Ballarat. Ballarat 2-4-16 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. 26 minutes gone. We're nearing the first interval here at Mars Stadium in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Opportunity blown there on that occasion by North Ballarat as they put it into a dangerous position. They could potentially capitalise with a possession here in the midfield in the latter stages of the first term. They're out now. Adam Turley sends his side forward. 2-on-2 situation. Ball bobbles around. Taken by Arts. He is ridden into the turf. That's what the umpire agrees with and says it's a free kick and it's going to go the way of the Roosters directly in front of goal, just 25 metres out.
I think Adam Turley's boot went nearly as far as the ball then, Wes. But look, that's at one. It's one of those decisions. Small forwards, they're smart enough to dive forward when they're feeling the heat from behind. As a result, get a push in the back, and he's probably 20 metres out, directly in front almost.
Well, you would imagine this is a given, but nothing is certain as he kicks on goal, and he makes absolutely no mistake as he lands one on the grandstand roof. It eventually does bounce back, but that's the North Ballarat Roosters moving along to 4-2-26 to the Swans 2-4-16 after 27 minutes in the Ballarat Toyota match of the day. The Ballarat Toyota scoreboard reflects an advantage of some 10 points to the Roosters.
Oh, danger! Just the last couple of centre bounces, Fletcher Loader's just been able to get his hands first on the ball and even allow the ball to be moved just forward, by a hit or a tap or even just to halve the contest. Been really impressive.
Riding quick, Bromley, Lynch and Arts are the goal kickers for North Ballarat. McGrath and Prendergast for the Swans. Ball at ground level once again. Plenty of heat in the middle and could have been a leg hold there, and yes, I reckon I still got it as an umpire, Hendo.
Very good, Wes, very good pick, and the umpires are actually doing a great job here.
Yeah, doing a good job of controlling what's a really fierce contest between two talented sides. Kick away by Waitman, Down the field, opportunity to play onto advantage. They do so through Paddy Simpson. He takes a bounce. He's hard up against the boundary. The little chip kick over the top was intended for Sam James, but it's the Roosters with the numbers, and Ryan Hobbs, the ex-VFL Frankston player, is able to take it away, and eventually they have it at half-back, and it's the most recent goal kicker, Sam Arts, who takes it some 60 metres from defensive goal, squeezes it out wide. North Ballarat just maybe controlling the footy, although opportunity for the Swans to turn it over. Eventually the looping handball comes from the hand of Riley Polkinghorn, and they in fact have turned it over. Oh, great smother on that occasion, although I reckon Sam Arts has come off not too well on that occasion. I'm not quite sure what he might have hurt his wrist. He's very hurt.
Yeah, he's not in a good way.
No, I hope the trainers can get out to him really quickly, because Sam Arts does appear to be pretty severely hurt now. As we see the ball worked square as the Swans bring it forward, and the mark's taken by Bailey Fraser. Fraser thought to handball. Thought that might have been going off his line. His kick is setting a real task for his teammate, but he's out with a very hard handball in turn to Paddy Simpson. Simpson tries to work it back in board, but Simpson's actually pushed as he kicks, and probably fortunate for the Swans there on that occasion that they are going to retain possession, because they look like they might have turned it over there. Simpson's kick. Oh, he was aiming to hug the boundary and just to eradicate any chance that the Roosters might be able to cut that off, but unfortunately he's done himself a massive disservice.
Well, 50, and I suppose technically it's right, but Ballarat just really want to plug the damn wall here. They don't want North Ballarat to get another score or another goal just before quarter time.
Harry Loader has it some 65 metres out from goal. Short option. Spots up a teammate for the forward by 10 metres. That's Elliot Lamb. He kicks towards the hot spot. The men fly. Gibson at the front. He takes the ball and handballs off to a teammate who was a little leisurely there in his approach. I suppose he was just surveying the landscape in front. Here's an opportunity for the Roosters. Simpson, sweeping handball over the top. They may be out. Good work by Will Liston. He unleashes his teammate in Aidan Domick, who in turn finds a man further forward. Here's a real opportunity emerging now for Keegan Mellington. Mellington shot on goal, and the Swans have got one back.
What a great passage of play, Wes, and they just built it up nicely. And once again, predominantly by foot, just being able to pierce their way through the North Ballarat defence, and that's a really crucial goal just on the eve of quarter time. A really significant goal.
His teammate in
And a
Aidan
really
Domick,
nice shot
who
on
in
goal,
turn
because
finds a
we've seen
man
a couple
further
of
forward. Here's a
players have
real
shots on
opportunity
goal
emerging
at
now for
times
Keegan
that
Mellington.
Perhaps they would like to replay and have another opportunity, but that was a great job by Keegan Mellington.
I think the thing is just get that first mark in the back half. Once you've got that, you control the game. You don't have to play pinball football in the back half. Get the first mark, see what opens up, kick onto a 45, try and get through the centre of the ground, and they did that really well then.
32 minutes have elapsed on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. 4-2-26 plays 3-4-22. It is indeed what we anticipated, a very fierce contest as we see the Swans go forward once again. That was a really good effort there by Lawson Prendergast. Worked it out to a teammate, but eventually they lose possession as North Ballarat come away from half back, although the kick's misguided from Powling to his teammate in Gibson, and now they have it at left half forward. The Swans had an opportunity in the shadows of quarter time to actually take the lead. The siren sounds, and in the Ballarat Toyota match of the day, the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard says 4-2-26 North Ballarat Roosters, Ballarat Swans 3-4-22. Your assessment, Brett Henderson?
Look, just a couple of things. I think North Ballarat, I've spoken about it previously, they just like to use the hands, particularly coming out of the back half, where I think Ballarat's transition's a little bit slower by foot. And then they try and get through the middle of the ground and then try and get it long into a one-on-one in the forward half. I just think Josh Gibson, just in that last 5-6 minutes, really started to have an impact down back for Ballarat. And as a result, they were able to launch, a fair few attacks from there. Some really good players for both sides. I just think, it's just more steady in the back half perhaps for Ballarat at the moment. And I know they're down on the scoreboard, but their last, 5-6 minutes was excellent. North Ballarat, when they get it quickly into the forward half and, negotiate the extra backman that Ballarat have put into their defence, well, they look dangerous, particularly when the ball hits the ground for their smalls. But all in all, you know, both sides cracking in, great contest, high quality football.
The goal kickers for the Roosters, Riding, Quick, Bromley, Lynch and Arts. For Ballarat Swans, it's McGrath, Prendergast and Mellington. At quarter time in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day, the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard says it's the Roosters 4-2-26. Their visitors in the Ballarat Swans 3-4-22. We'll be back after a short break.
Australia, meet your new McCafe blend. Roasted and blended in Melbourne. Smoother, richer, and crafted for Aussies who love great coffee. The new McCafe blend. Now that's coffee fit for an Aussie.
As proud sponsors of the Ballarat Football Netball League, we love supporting local.
And love community sport, and we encourage everyone to get out there, support your local football and netball league, and of course, support local business.
Oh, the big trucks in the background here at Mars Stadium. They're at the Ballarat Showgrounds, but we're here at the Ballarat Toyota match of the day, and it's a cracker. It's an absolute dead set cracker. North Ballarat Roosters 4-2-26 plays Ballarat Swans 3-4-22. You're with Wes Cusworth and Brett Henderson. And the siren sounds to get the second quarter underway as the big men prepare themselves once again. Powling and McCallum. Ball to ground. Here go the Swans. They're in deficit. An opportunity for them is missed, though, as North Ballarat are able to take it away from half back. The ball comes to the commentary side of the ground, hard up against the boundary, and more than happy to see it over the line was Taylor Sutton.
This gives a chance, Wes, to see if they're pushing wingmen into the contest or whatever. At the moment, it sort of seems still pretty much a 4-on-4 as the ball comes in.
Opportunity for the Swans. Quick takeaway, Sam James. Oh, it was cut off, though. Good work by the Roosters. Elliot Lamb worked it out to Ryan Polkinghorn. A little nudge there in the back of Riding, but Riding's going to be the eventual recipient of the footy, and his kick is beautifully placed to the chest of Adam Turley.
It's just a lovely kick. Once again, I've just been speaking about the foot skills in this game, and you know there hasn't been too many targets missed.
Turley still looking for his first major of the game. His side in the ascendancy by 4 points. His shot on goal. Well, that is a beautiful kick on goal to the western end of Mars Stadium. And the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard now says the Roosters 5-2-32, leading the Swans 3-4-22. Exactly what you want with a set shot on goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a nice little settler for North Ballarat. I know it's early in the game, but you know, the last 10 minutes of that last quarter from Ballarat were exceptional. So, you know, just nice for them to get one back. Now it's up to Ballarat to respond.
And that's exactly what they've done typically. They just haven't ever let the Roosters get away, apart from that 13-point advantage at the 4-minute mark of the first term. Opportunity missed there once again by the Roosters. They'll hand it back to the Swans as kicking forward is Daniel Kennedy. Awkward bouncing football taken by Harry Loader. Now the Roosters away, streaming through the central corridor on the mark-taking defensive side of the centre circle. In fact, now the kick forward towards the ascending side, the forward side of the centre wing, and a little push in the back, and Sam Arts the recipient. Arts with a weighted kick. Good strong mark taken by Adam Turley, who kicked that second quarter goal. The first goal of this term. Turley riding the target. Well weighted kick.
That's a great kick because it was outnumbered 3-1. Fantastic kick.
Riding looks like he's eager to maybe have a shot on goal here. He's hard up against the boundary. He was going to go with that around the corner kick. And now I'm not sure if you're a big fan of that. We see a lot of AFL footballers doing it now. But now he's going to set up for a typical shot on goal. Oh, he does race around on the left. The long kick across the face. And it's through for a behind.
That was a long kick, easily carried 50 metres, Wes. And he's been quite dangerous, very lively.
Yeah, he's good to watch. He's good to watch on the cricket field too. Had a cracking season for Geelong in Premier Cricket. Swans playing on and kicking long. Bit of volleyball there on that occasion. Handball was cut off. Now the Swans away through Garner. Garner kicks to a 2-on-1 situation, although the foot race, it's good work there by Keegan Mellington. Oh no, even better work performed by Sam Scally. And North Ballarat happy to see it over the line for a rush behind. 10 points the margin once again on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard.
Fantastic transition from Ballarat there, and just kicking along to their ruckman and getting numbers out the back.
So the Roosters locked up in the left back pocket, back into the corridor. Hobbs comes to the commentary side of the ground. The tall target there on that occasion was Harry Loader. Spilt from his grasp. Swans fighting hard, trying to burst through was Jamie Quick. Handball cut off once again. Really intense game of football, this one. Adam Turley. Could have been a hold on quick, called to play on. Pack forms, the umpire says... Well, the umpire's pinged him there on that occasion. And it's going to be Carter Prendergast, who kicked a first quarter goal, the recipient. Finds Gibson. Gibson pushes it out wide to a man in space. And now the Swans using the corridor. Fisted away. Good defence by the Roosters. Pack forms. And we'll have a ball up some 45 metres out from goal.
Adam Turley just looked off the ground for North Ballarat. This looks like a bit of a bad corky.
Plenty of noise in the background. We've got the big trucks at the Ballarat Showgrounds today. If you're wondering what that noise is, long kick forward by the Roosters. Jonathan O'Brien, dispossessed, taken by Perry. Whistle blows, and it's going to be a free kick. And it's going to go the way of O'Brien, the acting captain. He kicks to 55 out from goal, and the Roosters with an opportunity. In fact, a 50.
I know everyone has different tastes in life, Wes, but I think I'd rather lick a cactus and go and see the big trucks.
Yeah, well, the big trucks are certainly making their presence felt in our coverage of the Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Hope we're not picking them up too clearly. As Jonathan O'Brien, the recipient of a 50-metre penalty, will have a shot on goal to the western end of Mars Stadium. His shot is drifting to the left. Opportunity missed for the Roosters. They lead by 11 points, 5-4, 34 to 3-5, 23 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard.
Just having a quick chat to Phil Partington, who was the general manager of the Ballarat Rebels here for a number of years at quarter time, Wes, and he was saying that both sides are full of some ex-products out of that great program that he ran. And you can see it in the quality of football. It's just fantastic skill set.
Well, he's a proud man, Pardo. He's like a surrogate father to a lot of these boys that have come through the system. The mark's taken by Blackburn. Blackburn squeezes it out wide. He's got a couple of targets there on that occasion. I think they may have interfered with one another by way of a lack of communication. Sweeping handball over the top. Oh, running into trouble there was Aidan Domick. His handball was looping over the top. Oh, it might be out now. This is Lawson Prendergast. He kicks forward to a one-on-one situation. Ball bounces over the back. Tom Brumley Lynch has got a little bit of time in which to move. They try to close him down, but he kicks to the advantage of a teammate. The ball bounces awkwardly for Arts, but he does well. Over the top to Riding. If Riding had a man further forward, they would have been able to get a bit of space in which to work, but it was a really good smother by the Swans, cutting that forward foray off. And the margin sits at 11 points, some 7 minutes into this second term.
Swans have been able to go inside 50 a couple of times. I'd like to see Mitch McGrath as the deepest forward, just to impact a bit more in the air.
Powling up against McCallum. Kick forward, punched away by the Roosters. Using the corridor on this occasion. Good mark taken by Jamie Quick. Kick to first quarter goal. Quick is quick to move. He kicks to a one-on-one. In fact, racing over the top, trying to gather the ground ball is his teammate who got a boot to ball, Tom Hodgson, and the umpire answers in the affirmative. Hodgson kicks his first goal of the game, and now the greatest margin of the game sees the Roosters 6-4-40, leading by 17 points over the Swans 3-5-23 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard.
Well, a few questions now being asked of Ballarat, and they're just going to have to respond. They've been able to get in, probably 20 metres out in front of goal, but I just think they're just lacking something in the air. I reckon McGrath's the man. They need to start winning a bit of ball in and around the contest. Brendan McCartney's men are just starting to get on top a little bit physically in the contest.
I hope you're enjoying our round 3 Ballarat Toyota match of the day, provided by Wes Cusworth and Brett Henderson in commentary. It's a cracking contest, and the advantage is spread to 17 points 8 minutes into this second term. Going forward once again through the agency of Jamie Quick. Ball to ground, opportunity for Arts. Dispossessed, pack forms, trying to burst away there on that occasion was Bromley Lynch. But in fact, it's going to be Blackburn to clear for the Swans. He's got a man out very wide in Daniel Kennedy, who marks. Awkward sort of bounce. He thinks about a second one, but then wisely prefers to move the ball on by foot and finds Lawson Prendergast. He swings around onto his left, kicks into the corridor. Desperate fist away by the Roosters. Backing back into trouble was Fletcher Toos, but he wants to switch play, and he does so effectively and finds Ned Nash. Nash moves the ball forward. On full stretch is Tom Hodgson. Coming off the bench there on this occasion was John O'Brien. O'Brien has a man further afield. It's Riding. He sets himself. Ball fisted away. Good defensive work by the Swans. As a coach, I'm sure that's what you'd want to say.
Yeah, you just want to kill the ball off. But North Ballarat really getting numbers back defensively and then being able to run the ball out quite easily. So there seems to be some sort of loss of structure perhaps just for Ballarat forward line at the moment.
Pack forms in anticipation of the throw-in. Fisted away on this occasion by Loverson. Quick snap on goal. The Roosters have got another one. I reckon that might have been Riley Polkinghorne. And the advantage spreads even further, now out to 23 points, 7-4-46 the Roosters. The Swans with work to do, 3-5-23. That is, of course, on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard.
Yeah, I just think the Swans perhaps have fallen in the trap of perhaps just going too quick, particularly under the forward line. They're getting outnumbered. Perhaps they just need to be patient, wait for some numbers to get down there and then come back up at the kicker. But they're also starting to lose it a little bit at the source, so they need to start winning the ball from these centre clearances.
We spoke before the game about the absence of Andrew Hooper, and you would imagine that he would just be so very valuable down forward, as we do see the Swans with an opportunity through Liston. Kicks forward. Oh, nice work front and square on this occasion by the Swans, although the kick isn't quite so good from the boot of Will Garner, and it's over the boundary line alongside the left behind post.
I reckon that's a template there, Wes. Equal numbers. One-on-one forwards, separated. Get the ball in there, give them a chance to do their work.
An opportunity for the Swans. Defensive work required by the Roosters. We see the ball thrown in. McCallum, front position, fists it away to the right forward pocket. Roosters first to the footy through Bromley Lynch. He is held, so to the footy, locked in and not moving anywhere. Gibson doing the ruck work now on this occasion for the Swans as he's moved forward. Quick snap towards the corridor. Juggling attempt, almost a mark for the Swans, taken by the Roosters, kick smothered. They'll look for the refuge of the boundary line once again, and the umpire says, yes, we'll throw it in, just metres around from the left behind post. 7-4-46 place, 3-5-23 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard.
Better pressure at ground level there by the Swans forwards.
Gibson, second in line on that occasion. So the Roosters win it to ground, and pack forms around the footy. Really ebbing and flowing in terms of the openness of this game. Not really surprising, I suppose, given the characteristics of the respective coaches.
No, you're absolutely right, Wes.
Here's an opportunity opening up for the Swans. Handball out over the top. Could be the Roosters out, though, through the agency of Ned Nash. Quick. Riding sets himself. Ball fisted away. Lovely work at ground level. Sam Fisher. And finds a teammate further afield, and that's Nick Waitman. So Waitman, offensive side of centre wing, commentary side of the ground, short option, and finds Baldwin. So Baldwin, it's a real worm-burning kick, and that is pinpoint perfect.
That was a great kick, Wes. He had no option because the big North Ballarat ruckman and Cameron McCallum was just standing in the hole. So that's the patience we talk about. Wait for something to open up, lower your eyes, and have a go at hitting it.
Shot on goal for Lawson Prendergast. His side in deficit by 23 points midway through this second term. So he's measured in his approach. He comes now to the 50. Steps over the arc, kicks long. It's got a bit of left to right about it, but not enough. And it hits the woodwork through for just the one behind the margin, back to 22 points.
Just starting to stabilise a little bit, Ballarat, but they need to make the most of these opportunities. They've got to start putting a little bit more pressure back on the North Ballarat scoreboard.
We saw that a little bit in the first term, didn't we? We saw that bright beginning by North Ballarat, and then the Swans able to just arrest that slide. But now, obviously, the situation's a little more problematic. It's a 22-point margin as North Ballarat have it in their defensive 50. Coming to the commentary side of the ground, setting himself on that occasion was Nick Waitman, and I suspect he might have copped a bit of a push in the back. So Waitman it is. It's just the attacking side of centre wing. He plays on now. Oh, he's going to be run down. No, not quite. Looping handball to the favour of a teammate. Kick around the body from Paddy Simpson. That's a good kick to a really hot spot. Ball at ground level. Little tap on that occasion from Jack Blackburn was well intended. Little dribbling kick, and it's through for a behind.
It actually worked a bit better. I know he only got run down and a handball and then a bit of a kick in indiscriminately, but that chaos ball confused the North Ballarat defenders.
7-4-46 plays 3-7-25 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Opportunity for the Swans once again through the agency of Lawson Prendergast. Long kick to a really difficult place for North Ballarat, but they handle it beautifully through the agency of McCallum. McCallum kicks out wide. He's got a teammate there in Ryan Polkinghorn. Polkinghorn was under enormous pressure, and the Swans, who actually won the footy there on that occasion, unfortunately for them, ran out of tarmac, and 15 minutes into the term, they're going to face a boundary throw-in in deficit by 21 points.
Will Garner's lift his work rate for Ballarat? He's become quite lively as a small forward.
Fisted away in the direction of the Swans' goal. Plenty of players around the football at the moment. Dribbling kick forward, opportunity to clear for Fletcher Toos, and he comes to the commentary side of the ground, and he's got a man in a bit of space, although he's going to be charged down by Gibson. Oh, his handball put a teammate under enormous pressure. Opportunity for Reece Perry. Could have been a little nudge in the back there on that occasion for the Swans. Umpire calls play on. Tough tackle by Grant Baldwin, holds it up. Good, strong defensive work there by Baldwin.
Once again, Ballarat just holding it into that forward half. You know, they did this in the first quarter, trying to build pressure on the North Ballarat defence.
They do need to capitalise, don't they, though? They've kicked 3-7, so they've been a little bit wasteful in front of goal. Pat forms once again. Roosters with possession, and ultimately wrapped up in the tackle is Fletcher Loader, and he's going nowhere.
The North Ballarat forward line be really happy with this. They've got one-on-ones. They've got no extra to contend with, so it's going to give them an opportunity if the ball spits forward for this contest.
Taken by O'Brien. Dispossessed. Well, the Swans want to go on with it. The umpire says, yep, that's okay. Domic, shot on goal, left to right, and misses to the right side, and just a little wasteful once again. The Swans, as they cut the margin back to 20 points, they are 3-8-26. North Ballarat Roosters 7-4-46.
Yeah, Aidan Domic sort of player, if he's getting into that forward half and having shots on goal, is going to be really dangerous. He can really play the game, Aidan.
17 minutes have elapsed on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard with the ascendancy, some 20 points for the Roosters. Here go the Swans once again. There's a little bit of space created as Daniel Kennedy sends his side forward. Gibson has moved forward. He was the target there on that occasion. The ball spills to ground. He might get an opportunity now. He does. He tries to get a kick away. Dispossessed. Little kick forward. Did that travel the necessary distance? Umpire says yes, it did. And the mark's taken by Jack Blackburn. Blackburn around the body. Hits the woodwork.
Oh, this is going to cost them, Wes. You know, there's 3 or 4 points in a row now. They need to get a couple of goals out of this pressure that they've built.
19 points the deficit, 3-9-27 the Swans. The Roosters 7-4-46 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Long kick out wide. It's a 3-on-2 situation, but it's going to be the two that take possession, although Jack Riding's handing it back to the opposition. Eventually, a little clever tap on, and just good, tough tackling by the Swans rewarded. In fact, no, in the back. Riding. Mark taken by the Roosters. Kick towards the corridor. Almost cut off by the Swans. Looping handball over the top by Ned Nash. Loader goes to ground. Swans bring it away to the commentary side of the ground. Good work on this occasion by the Swans through the agency of Keegan Mellington. And eventually they win it to Lawson Prendergast. Prendergast with a long kick forward. Gibson's got plenty of work to do. He's got 3 rivals to contend with. So the Roosters certainly keeping men back, although that kick's a bit scrubby. And unfortunately for the Swans, they can't capitalise on that Roosters mistake. The margin is 19 points.
Some of the smaller Ballarat forwards are coming right up to the wing. And what's actually happening is the North Ballarat defenders going, yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to sit back. Ball goes in. It's a 3-on-1 like it was then for Josh Gibson.
Ball comes to ground. Loader. Roosters with a kick forward to centre wing. Fisted away. Fisher. Oh, the Roosters through the agency of Perks. Conceding a little bit of ground. Polkinghorne, and now off to a teammate who kicks to the commentary side of the ground. It's a 3-on-1, and the mark's taken by Reece Perry. Perry concedes a bit of ground, but tries to create a little bit of space to the fat side of the ground, which is the, I think we're going to call that the big truck side of the ground here at Mars Stadium, Hendo.
Absolutely, it is today, Wes.
Perry once again. He was a late inclusion in the lineup.
Been very impressed with him, Wes.
He's done some good things. And now an opportunity for Will Garner. The Roosters are covering space pretty well, though, and posing some problems for the Swans as they attempt to move forward, and they do create a turnover. Ball comes out now. Here's the Roosters. They can go forward. It's a 2-on-1 situation. Going to ground there on that occasion was Jamie Quick. And the Roosters to the outer side of the ground, and the ball eventually over the boundary line.
They love a handball, North Ballarat. I'd love to see their numbers, Wes. I think they'd be through the roof.
Stan continuing to cast a longish shadow here at Mars Stadium, although it's an absolutely brilliant day given what we experienced across the region yesterday. And the surface has held up absolutely beautifully. It's going to be a free kick going the way of the Roosters. Bit of an up and under. Sets McCallum a task, but he's equal to the occasion and takes a really good mark. Second in line there on that occasion, but that superior reach, giving the big fella an opportunity with the shot on goal.
Yeah, he's a big boy, and if you're going to put the ball up to him, make sure you put it up to him in the air, because he's going to be hard to contest against, and as a result has a shot on goal.
McCallum, his shot on goal is not making the distance. The front position there was Jamie Quick, although it was clever work by the Roosters defence to get a hand in. And the margin's back to 20 points as we see the Roosters 7-5-47 leading the Swans 3-9-27 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Now the Swans with an opportunity to clear from half-back. Although the kick's falling a touch short, and it's cut off by Isaac Carey, who, like you, Hendo, had a bit of experience over there in the West. Enjoyed a bit of time over in Perth. Nice, firm, fast tracks over there, I'd imagine.
They were good for a slow runner like me, Wes.
Good leap there on that occasion by Jamie Quick. He kicked a first quarter goal. He goes towards the corridor now. McCallum's the target. Sweeping through and grabbing the crumbs is Elliot Lamb. His shot on goal is dribbling and bouncing and eventually bouncing over the fence, but to the left of the majors and through for a behind. 7-6-48. The Roosters leading by 21 points over the Swans 3-9-27.
Even then, McCallum didn't mark the ball, but he created an opportunity at ground level. So the Swans are going to have to keep an eye on that. But when the ball gets to ground level, they then need to be able to run it out, because I don't think the big fella's going to be able to chase that hard. So that might give them a chance to get a bit of an overlap going.
What can the Swans do about eating into this deficit in the latter stages of this second term there? In arrears by 21 points. Big leap on this occasion comes from O'Brien. Ball to ground. Hard to dispose of there on that occasion, and the umpire adjudicates and says we'll have a ball up. Some 60 metres around from the North Ballarat goal. Pushing and shoving under the footy. Taken by O'Brien. Immediately wrapped up in the tackle. He was going nowhere.
And North Ballarat got a spare defender. Ballarat throwing a spare, an extra up at the stoppage.
Could have been buried there on that occasion. I think the umpire's going to pull the free kick out and say that's going the way of Fletcher Loader. Fair enough. He was absolutely ridden like a horse there on that occasion. Goes into the corridor. Awkward bouncing footy taken by Riding. Loves it on the left. Snaps on goal, and Riding's got a second.
Well, he's been lively all day, Wes. I know he sort of had a miss on goal before, but look, he's a sort of young guy that could pop up and kick you 4 or 5 and really damage here on the scoreboard. He's just moving the whole time and looks like he wants to attract the footy.
Well, Riding's got 2, 1 in each of our first 2 quarters, and it's the Roosters 8-6-54 leading the Swans 3-9-27. That 27-point margin is a game-high margin. And there's 2 things that have got to happen here. The Swans have got to try to get one back, and at the same time, they've got to make sure they don't concede any further ground, because it could be really problematic for them if they do. Back in the middle, the Swans win it, although pulled off his kick there on that occasion was Prendergast, and as a consequence, the Roosters have a takeaway through the agency of Loader. Now Quick kicks it high, backing back and almost pulling off the one-handed mark there, the Roosters, but the ball at ground level. Well, trying to weave through the pack and caught high. The Roosters are going to have a shot on goal, 30 metres out from goal.
Fletcher Loader is really driving North Ballarat at the moment. He's just in and under. He's around every contest. He's either tapping the ball on or he's just driving at that stoppage really quickly and driving North Ballarat forward.
So 26 minutes into this second quarter, and it's the Roosters in the ascendancy by 27 points and an opportunity to go further ahead, although this one is across the face of goal. And an opportunity missed as they move along to 8-7-55, and 28 points separate the 2 sides in the shadows of half-time. Now the Swans, 25 metres from defensive goal. Choose to come to the commentary side of the ground. Fisted away. Ball at ground level. Oh, that was a very clever handball. He heard the teammate coming, and now away is Jake Drever. Kicks his side into attack, although he's just kicked over the top of the lead of Gibson. The ball bouncing towards the goal. Oh, I tell you what, that might have bounced through. Drever, what a goal. I think I was calling into question his motivation there on that occasion, but he has had a fortuitous bounce, and that is just reward for a really creative piece of play, Hendo.
Well, it was. I mean, like, you know, if I was Josh Gibson, I'd probably be a little bit dirty on him for not using me. You know, Gibson led up really well at the ball then, but look, he ran, he carried the footy, kicked it long, and as you said, luckily it just bounced the right way and dribbled through, and a much-needed goal for the Swans, you know, just on half-time.
Well, can that be a catalyst for the Swans heading into the main break, and even the few moments remaining in this contest now, as the margin has been cut back to 22 points, 8-7-55 plays, 4-9-33 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. This is the Ballarat Toyota match of the day, and what a great contest we're having here at Mars Stadium. And the Swans, once again, opportunity for the Swans as they move forward, although the handball's cut off there on that occasion. That was clever work by Isaac Carey. Got it off to his teammate, Ian O'Brien. He went to ground, but works his way back into the contest. And as a coach, that's what you want to see, that second effort.
Absolutely. And amazing what actually happens when you kick a goal around the contest. Just gives you a bit of hope, and everyone seems to be just going that little bit harder.
Opportunity for the Swans once again, although they're retreating with the handball. Handball out into space, but they've got the numbers here on this occasion. They really should be able to progress forward through Mitch McGrath, who's been pretty quiet in the second term.
Domic's having a huge influence in the last 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, clever work by him as he finds his teammate further afield in Lawson Prendergast, who in turn goes with a short option hard up against the boundary, and the mark's taken by Tom Mooney. So Mooney, this is within range, but whether or not he's got the accuracy, and what would this do for the Swans' morale if he was able to ping this one? He comes in now. He just works his way around. A shot on goal. It curls around. It's a beautiful shot on goal. That's a wonderful kick by Tom Mooney, and that is precisely what the Swans wanted in the shadows of halftime.
Oh, it's game on again, Wes, and it's been driven by a couple of their midfielders. Aidan Domic's probably on the outside at the moment. He's sort of starting as a half forward, and it probably playing that role as around the stoppage. I would actually love to see him just go inside now. The last few minutes of this quarter, let's see what he can do inside this big unit. He's starting to get plenty of the footy.
We've hit the 29-minute mark, and the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard says 8-7-55 North Ballarat, leading the Swans 5-9-39. And it's certainly a contest befitting of the Ballarat Toyota match of the day, as the ball's back in the middle of Mars Stadium, and we'll have another ball up. So those late goals to Drever and Mooney have really given a sense of hope to the Swans. Big leap on that occasion by the Swans Powling. And there's a hold, and they're away, and they're out, and they've got space. Jack Blackburn, what can he create? He's got the lead running hard, 40 metres out from goal, and the mark's taken by Lawson Prendergast. He's got a lead further afield, but good defensive fist. Desperate stuff by the Roosters, and that's what you want to see from your defenders.
Yeah, magnificent defending from North Ballarat there. Once again, Aiden Domick was actually, involved in that play, driving them forward. So just a bit of a watch on him.
Umpire hurls it in. Oh, Gibson has an opportunity. Snap on goal, and I heard a whistle. How does the umpire adjudicate this? He's just having a chat. And in fact, it looks like there's going to be a free kick that's gone the way of the Roosters. And I'm not exactly sure on what that was for, as we see another footy kicked out, as obviously Gibson's ball has gone out into the outer portion of Mars Stadium, and in fact the umpire hadn't blown time on, which means that the siren has sounded, and that is in fact the end of the second quarter. That is half time here at Mars Stadium, and a 31-minute second quarter, and the Roosters 8-7-55 holding the ascendancy by 16 points over the Swans, 5-9-39 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. And as we look forward to the McCafe half-time break here at Mars Stadium, Brett Henderson with his assessment of the first half so far.
Yeah, look, it's only a couple of minutes ago. North Ballarat had a shot on goal to go 6 goals up and missed it. I just love what Ballarat did then. They just responded. They needed to. A couple of key drivers for them. They started to win the ball out of the middle. I really thought that Marcus Powling, as a tall, started to offer them something in and around the contest. Aiden Domick that I've spoken about. And they seem to be able to put pressure on the North Ballarat defenders coming out, because North Ballarat, my way of seeing it, love to use the hands. And they're prepared to use the hands in the back half. Gives Ballarat a chance, if they're going to come at them and defend face on, to really turn that footy over. So both sides, playing different brands. Probably I'd say Ballarat the more patient brand, but it's excellent footy to watch. I think it's anyone's game still. I think Ballarat certainly need to come out and start hitting that scoreboard and putting that little bit more pressure on North Ballarat at the start of the third quarter. But I think it's anyone's game, Wes.
Thanks very much, Brett Henderson. Do very much appreciate your assessment of the game. The North Ballarat Roosters at half-time in the Ballarat Toyota match of the day. The Ballarat Toyota scoreboard says it's the North Ballarat Roosters 8-7-55 leading the Swans 5-9-39. We'll be back on the other side of the McCafe half-time break with the second half of our round 3 match of the day.
Australia, meet your new McCafe blend. Roasted and blended in Melbourne. Smoother, richer, and crafted for Aussies who love great coffee. The new McCafe blend. Now that's coffee fit for an Aussie.
As proud sponsors of the Ballarat Football Netball League, we love supporting local.
And love community sport, and we encourage everyone to get out there, support your local football and netball league, and of course, support local business.
Welcome back to the round 3 Ballarat Toyota match of the day with Wes Cusworth and Brett Henderson. The Ballarat Toyota scoreboard says 8-7-55 North Ballarat, and the Swans 5-9-39. And if you can hear some raging noise in the background, we've got the monster trucks competing with us. They're at the Ballarat Showgrounds. I thought it was some sort of a special celebration on today, Hendo, when I saw all the traffic and the rides and the themes. But here we are, we're competing with the monster trucks, but we're witnessing a sensational game of footy. So the Swans with a bit of work to do. They trail by 16 points as we enter the second half. And McCallum works it out by hand to Ned Nash. The kick inside 50. Could have been a little nudge in the back to Isaac Lovison. Umpire calls play on. Opportunity for Sam Arce with a looping handball, although it finds only a Ballarat Swans defender. And here's an opportunity for Carter Prendergast to clear. Finds a teammate, and now they can take it away from half-back, and the boundary umpire comes into play and says, sorry, lads, you ran out of tarmac, and Will Garner has to hand it back to the boundary umpire for a throw-in.
Almost a magnet over there, Wes. It seems to keep going out about to the same spot every time.
Throw-in, McCallum, front position, fisted forward. It's good to see the follow-up from Marcus Powling to lock it in and eventually over the boundary line, and the boundary umpire will come in once again. Lovely little boutique ground here at Mars Stadium. I'd love to see it jam-packed. I dare say BFL Grand Final Day is an absolute cracker. As we see a free kick paid, and it's going to go the way of the Swans. Just the defensive side of centre, squaring the footy and finding Waitman. Waitman just offering the umpire a little bit of advice as to where his rival should be standing on the mark. Now Waitman called to play on. An up and under kick to half forward. Swans go to ground. Opportunity for North Ballarat through McCallum. His kick is finding his teammate in Riley Polkinghorne. So Polkinghorne, just the offensive side of centre wing, uses the corridor, kicks high, a leap there from Lovison. Ball to ground. Opportunity for North Ballarat. Falls to Ned Nash. Nash with a kick inside 50. Swans have got plenty of numbers back in defence, although they're stripped of possession. Umpire calls play on. Eventually they'll take it through Bailey Fraser. Fraser works it by hand to a teammate. Now sweeping handball, and the Swans could be away from the defensive side of centre wing. Perilously close to the boundary, and unfortunately Jake Drever's kick, after we saw a wonderful goal from him, unfortunately on this occasion has gone over the line, and it's going to go the way of Isaac Carey.
And Ballarat have got a bit of an issue because Ryan Hobbs has made himself a loose player in the back half, and I think they need to equalise that, Wes.
Kicking inside 50 is Ryan Polkinghorne, and the mark is taken comfortably by Nick Waitman. Waitman happy to concede a bit of ground as he finds McGrath, who works it out wide, and a little too wide on this occasion, and Aiden Domick is set too tough a task. And the boundary umpire comes into play and says the magnet has worked effectively again.
It's exactly the same spot again, Wes. I reckon that's 5 or 6 times today.
You'd think there's some sort of howling breeze to that side of the ground, Brett, but that's not the case today. It's a fabulous day for football.
Absolutely perfect.
Boundary umpire steps inside and throws it in McCallum front position, palms it down, pack forms around the footy, and we will have another ball up.
I think what's happened here, Wes, is that they've basically thrown a bit of a joker, what we call a joker, into the pack. So they're throwing a fifth mid in here, okay, and that's allowing North Ballarat to have a spare back.
Daniel Kennedy looks to take it away, and a kick is smothered and over the boundary line once again. Often you see that with a really strong wind to one side of the ground, that there's a lot of work for the boundary umpire, and that's the way it appears at the moment, but it's certainly not the case. It's just a wonderful still day here at Ballarat's Mars Stadium. Taken in the tackle is Riley Polkinghorne, and the umpire says we'll have another ball up. Riding, throws it on the boot, but it's taken away by the Swans. Domick really starting to clock up the possessions. Gibson's been thrown forward, threw the arms out for the hold, but umpire not interested there on that occasion. Now, I know that the Henderson Medal is the leading individual award in the Ballarat Football Netball League football competition. You are going to award some Henderson votes at the end of today's game for
Thanks,
3-2-1.
Wes.
They won't
Fantastic.
count for the official medal, but the Henderson votes for today's coverage will be very, very important to me. So watch with interest. And Hayden
Absolutely.
Domick, as I just made mention of, will obviously come in for the reckoning because he's really starting to clock up some meaningful possessions. Here we go. Ball up. Plenty of players around the contest. Cut off there on that occasion. The Swans with an opportunity. They'll go inside 50. There's a couple of options. This is where they would have loved the likes of Andrew Hooper inside 50 to crumb those sort of footies, and unfortunately for the Swans, they're not able to escape.
Absolutely, and I just thought there, Wes, the forwards need to be more separated. They just folded in on each other and made it easy to defend.
McCallum palms it down. Sam James was in there. There's Gibson. Oh, handball comes out. Here's James. Snap on goal. It's right across the face. And a little unfortunate there for the Swans there on that occasion. It's carried the distance all the way out of bounds on the full. And it's going to go the way of Ned Nash, the recipient of the free kick.
Now, both sides have a loose man in defence, so it means they've both thrown one up around the contest.
Nash, worm-burning option, and Scally takes the mark. 45. Ooh, danger as he kicks to a 2-on-1 situation, and the Swans win it back. Now inside 50. The kick comes from the boot of Garner, but drifting back with the flight of the football is Ryan Hobbs. Oh, he's grabbed in the tackle. The umpire calls play on. North Ballarat have got the numbers, and the Roosters will take it away, although the reason they've got the numbers back there is because, as you've just mentioned, Brett Henderson, the Swans have also got numbers back.
Yeah, so this is why the scoreboard's not been impacted, Wes. You know, both sides really consolidating their defence.
Powling sets it up nice and high. Gibson was double teamed there on that occasion, ball fisted over the line. And we'll have a boundary throw in 45 metres around from the Swans' goal. They're in deficit by 16 points.
I think the Swans would be happy if they could keep this, you know, within striking distance and then really go for broke in the last quarter, Wes.
Indeed. The two number 17s go at it, McCallum and Domick. Obviously, the latter certainly outsized on this occasion. Opportunity for Waitman, although dispossessed. And now the North Ballarat Roosters are away with a little kick forward and a good mark taken by Jamie Quick. The Roosters move it on. Inside 50 now. It's a one-on-one situation. Although the Swans getting numbers back hurriedly, and the ball is held up 48 metres out from the Roosters' goal. And we'll have another ball up here at Mars Stadium. Umpire just assessing the contenders for this ruck knockout. We see O'Brien representing the Roosters there on that occasion. So some of the mid-sized players coming into the contest. There's McCallum. Oh, nice spin move by the big fella. Kicks to the advantage of a teammate. It might be Harry Loader. He's dispossessed of the football. Comes the way of Riley Polkinghorn. Now McCallum back in the action. Kicks to the corridor, but kicks only to a Ballarat Swans jumper. And the Swans have it just at the top of their defensive goal. Here's Perry. He's been presentable today, Perry. Finds a teammate with a little option to Garner. And now the Swans, what can they build here? Tom Mooney chooses a squaring option. Coaches ring the changes as we see the rotations continue with players flooding on from the interchange. Kicks to a 3-on-1 situation. Almost a really good mark taken by Tom Bromley Lynch, but the ball goes to ground and the umpire says, bang. Bromley Lynch penalised.
What a great result for the Swans. They were outnumbered 3-1. Domick's got the footy again, and now they've got a chance to sort of drive in deep forward.
Oh, he's really starting to play a part, and he just needs a few more helpers. Now, the umpire's not happy with the fact that the two number 34s are doing a little bit of wrestling on the mark. And the umpire's just explaining to Jake Drever, mate, you need to get out of the way and give Tom Bromley Lynch every opportunity to defend this forward foray.
Swans forwards need to get on the move here. They need to create some space, some leading lanes for their players like Gibson to run into.
Domick, long towards the top of the square. Oh, almost an accidental mark taken there by the Swans on that occasion. He thought he might have had it in the end. And the umpire, not so interested, must have said there was a hand involved.
Mark to me, where's it sort of just fell into his lap?
It did. It was almost unintended there on that occasion. But here we go with the Roosters to clear, and the mark taken at defensive 55. Kick along the line, fisted away by Drever. Oh, terrible bounce there on that occasion for poor Nick Swain. That's the vagaries of the oval football. Provided a real headache for Nick Swain there on that occasion.
Both sides really up for the contest now. It's a really critical stage of the game. Where's a goal either way could really swing momentum.
We have gone some 10 minutes without a score in this third quarter. McCallum, good to see him working hard at ground level. There's O'Brien getting the handball out. Drever in the action too. Swans sweeping handball out to Baldwin's advantage. He's got a man sweeping forward, and that's Domic, who takes a good mark. He thinks to go on, but then realises that he's within range, Hendo, and he's going to have a shot on goal. Very slight angle, and will kick from 45.
And didn't know what was coming. And then, we've spoken about his influence on this game. If he can hit the scoreboard here, kick a goal, the Swans are right in it.
16 points separate the two sides. The score unmoved since halftime. Domic with a shot on goal. That is a beautiful kick. His teammates go to him, and the Swans get it back to a 10-point margin.
Yeah, the Swans just seem to be covering the ground just a little bit better at the moment. They seem to be winning more of the contests. I think I like the game style in the back half, just trying to find power to control the game, whereas North Ballarat at the moment just a little bit frantic in the back half. So Swans players, if they can keep going at the player of the ball carrier, I reckon they can create turnovers.
Well, it took 11 minutes to get our first score of the third quarter. And now the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard says that it's the Roosters 8-7-55, leading the Swans 6-9-45 back in the middle of Mars Stadium. And we'll have a second rear ball up.
North Ballarat started winning these contests last quarter.
Big leap by Powling over the top of McCallum on that occasion. And the free kick is going to go the way of Daniel Kennedy. Kennedy swings around onto the left boot. Drifting back there on that occasion was Toos. Ball spills out to the advantage of North Ballarat, although it's gone the way of Blackburn. Blackburn's scrubbing little kick forward. Ball hotly contested, and a hold has been paid, and it's going to be the Roosters in the last line of defence.
Yeah, Josh Gibson wasn't sure what happened there, but the ball was behind him, so he couldn't see the game unfolding.
Up the corridor, which could be a little bit perilous there on this occasion, as we see an opportunity for Mitch McGrath, although he's immediately taken in the tackle. And the umpire has, shown no level of concession there on that occasion for McGrath, and it's gone the way of the Roosters. The Roosters choose the corridor. That was courageous. Reece Perry just standing tall.
The umpire's actually running the wrong way here. I think he's got a little bit disorientated. He was given 50 down to the Creswick end. Probably should be to the Ballarat City end.
That's what you want to see. Reece Perry's performance there on that occasion, just standing tall, knowing the contact was going to come.
I've liked his game today, Wes. I reckon he's been really steady. I know he's been a late inclusion, but if you're picking the side next week, I tell you what, he'd be one of the first I'll be looking at.
So Perry, the recipient of a 50-metre penalty, has a short option on. The mark is spilt on that occasion by Liston. Ball goes to ground, and perhaps an opportunity for the Swans has gone missing there.
Yeah, maybe even the kick could have been just a little bit better, but, at least they're trying these little kicks, the little tick kicks.
Well, ball goes up, ball goes down. Taking possession there was Ryan Polkinghorne, and he is immediately dispossessed. The umpire says you have not disposed effectively there on that occasion. And McCallum playing games on the mark, but Marcus Powling moves the ball forward, kick towards the pocket. Oh, Gibson was held there on that occasion. And certainly there was a bit of jumper tugging going on there.
There was, and the umpire had his hand up, ready to blow the whistle, but he decided to let it go.
So the ball some 25 metres around from the Swans' attack. 6-9-45, the Swans, they're in deficit by 10 points to the Roosters, 8-7-55 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Here we go, opportunity for Carter Prendergast. Retreats with the handball. Drever's kick forward, Gibson the target, outnumbered. Good work by the Roosters, although not so much on that occasion, as the Swans have won themselves a free kick.
I just reckon it's their set up behind the ball, Wes. Like North Ballarat looking to come out, they've got 2 spares behind the ball. They've got nowhere to go. Their forwards are putting pressure on every time the ball hits the deck, and as a result, they've got a shot on goal.
Will Liston will kick from 30 metres out, and he's got a fairly acute angle to contend with here at Mars Stadium. He's kicking to the city end. It's across the face of goal, and it clean bowls everybody. And in fact, it's gone all the way, carried the journey to the opposite pocket and on the full. So not a great result for the Swans.
No, they've just got to keep hitting that scoreboard. You know, if they can be within a goal, even up at three-quarter time, you know, they're going to be hard to beat.
Just the one score this term. 15 minutes have elapsed in this third quarter in the Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you may be viewing. The beauty of the live stream going all the way around the world, Hendo. So I know we'll have some viewers in Ballarat, but we'll have people watching on from all around the globe. Powling and McCallum. McCallum forced under the football on this occasion. Here are the Swans with an opportunity. That's your man again, Domic. He kicks to half forward. Awkward bouncing footy, good pace. Oh, might have been a little trip there on that occasion. Inadvertent, no doubt. Mellington went to ground. He's going to get another opportunity, Mellington. He's dispossessed of the football. Good defensive work by the Roosters. And the umpire says there's a hold and the Roosters will have it at halfback.
I loved how the Ballarat forwards like to keep the ball alive then. Just builds pressure on the defence.
8-7 plays 6-9. North Ballarat, commentary wing. Handball didn't quite hit the target there on that occasion from the Swans. Opens the door for North Ballarat. Heavy tackle, and umpire says we'll have a ball up. Coaches continue to ring the changes. O'Brien doing the ruck work for North Ballarat there on that occasion. Fisted forward by Blackburn, but it's going to be the Roosters equal to the occasion. Tom Bromley-Lynch has got a man in space, and that's Sam Arts, although Bailey Fraser looked to match him for pace before going to ground. Arts is able to create a bit of space now, looping handball to the favour of a teammate, although just a little wide on that occasion, and the magnet comes into effect once again.
Our favourite spot, Wes. You know, and really need to be careful there, the Ballarat defender. He sort of went over and left a man free. So, you know, sometimes you just got to hold your defensive position.
Boundary umpire hurls the Sharon in. Front positions with O'Brien. Works the ball to the front of the pack. Liston gets boot to ball. Could have been a nudge there in the back of Jack Blackburn. Umpire says, no, we'll have a ball up.
How do you see the game panning out, Wes? Like, either side could win this quite easily.
Yeah, absolutely, because just prior to the halftime break, we could see North Ballarat certainly taking the game away with a 27-point margin, but obviously the Swans worked their way back into the contest with those late goals, and now they've got the first of the third. But the Roosters with a free kick, although the kick only travels so far as the man on the mark, so that sets up a one-on-one contest. Gibson up against his rival in Ryan Hobbs, and the free kick's going to go the way of the former Hawk star in the AFL. Very polished performer. Oh, he's called to play on. Swings onto the left, kicks long. He's got a man closing in on the mark. Takes a really good mark. Keegan Mellington.
Like, it's been a real arm wrestle, but the way I'm seeing it is that Ballarat just seem to be on top in so many different areas of the ground. I know they're still behind on the scoreboard, but they're winning it at the source. They're setting up well defensively. You know, this is a game that they could and should nearly win.
Well, they've been a bit wasteful in front of goal. They've kicked 6-9, and Mellington, another left footer, makes no mistake, straight over the goal umpire's hat. And we have got a 4-point game here at Mars Stadium. The Ballarat Toyota scoreboard, 8-7-55 North Ballarat Roosters. Ballarat Swans, 7-9-51. What a contest here at Mars Stadium.
It's an absolute ripping game of football. And, you know, I just think the move, and we spoke about it in the first half, getting Aidan Domic into the midfield. And I think it's just changed the whole perspective of the game.
Keegan Mellington becomes just the second multiple goal kicker of the game. He's got 2, so to Jack Riding as the Swans go into attack once again. North Ballarat have got the numbers back. That doesn't really surprise when you consider the way that each side is continuing to throw that extra number back.
It's just relentless forward 50 entries for Ballarat. And they're just chipping away at the defensive mechanisms of North Ballarat.
Well, the Roosters have been in the ascendancy all game. Quick kick forward, and that was a really desperate effort on that occasion. Unfortunately, it produces 0 reward, and it's going to be Jacob Duffy in the right back pocket to bring it back in. His side in the ascendancy by 4 points. 55 plays 51 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Long kick, Powling at the back. Good work by O'Brien. Takes possession, although he's dispossessed. He tries to get a kick away, and the umpire says that you had prior opportunity and didn't make the most of it. So Powling with a kick and finds a teammate some 45 metres out from goal. Short option is on, and it's a clever kick. And Sam James takes the mark. A cute angle, but nonetheless just 20 metres out from goal. And here we have an opportunity, Brett Henderson, for the Ballarat Swans to take the lead for the first time in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. James comes in. Kick on goal. And the Swans have hit the front. The Swans lead it by 2 points.
Well, the last 15 minutes, we've spoken about, Wes, is that, it's just been forward 50 entry after forward 50 entry for Ballarat. And it doesn't matter how good your defence is, you just can't continually stand up to that. Now, the Ballarat defenders, they've been a little bit more adventurous than the North Ballarat counterparts. They're prepared to roll off the contest. They're prepared to go over and help and support and get numbers, to those 50-50s and swing, that percentage their way. It's up to North Ballarat to really respond now. They need to start hitting the scoreboard again.
Just 3 goals this term. They've come at the 11, 19 and 21 minute marks. Dominic, Mellington and James respectively. But the Roosters can go forward once again. Scrubbing kick forward. Good heavy tackle there on that occasion. Here's Hodgson releasing now Arts. Arts with a kick on goal. Do they get the quick answer? Yes, they do. The Roosters back in front by 4 points in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. They move along to 9-7. 61 and they lead the Swans 8-9-57.
Well, I'll be interested to see how they respond now, North Ballarat. That's just relief in a number of areas. Relief that they won the stoppage. They get relief forward of the footy because they've got one-on-ones with their forwards v backs. Right? And it just takes a bit of pressure off their back line. Just gives them a bit of a break. Gives them the score, the lead again on the scoreboard. And it's really important, I think, for this North Ballarat side to be winning it at the source in the centre clearances.
Well, the pressure's been unrelenting on the Roosters' backline in this third term, apart from that little foray forward then.
Absolutely.
Back in the middle, O'Brien up against Powling. And it's the big fella that clears for the Swans, moves the ball forward, plenty of open space. The Roosters first to the footy, sweeping handball comes out to the advantage of Jenkins. He works it off to a teammate, and now Hodgson with an opportunity. He swings around onto the right, kicks it long. It's a 2-on-2 situation. McCallum's gone forward. Ball comes to ground. His opposing number there comes away. It's the Swans. Handball out to the advantage of Sutton. Sutton's got a couple of options and finds his teammate in Domick, who's been so very impressive. Now the Swans with an opportunity to the offensive side of centre wing, but that was really clever work on that occasion by Jacob Duffy. Although the Swans with another opportunity, the no-look handball over the top came from Jack Blackburn. Trying to keep the ball in. That's a desperate attempt by Sam James. He did pretty well there on that occasion. But the Roosters, could have been a high tackle. Yes, that's the way the umpire adjudicates.
Nick Waitman's been terrific down back for Ballarat today. Been really good, giving him some run and rebound. Really important player over the next 35, 40 minutes.
Roosters hug the line. Good mark. Ryan Polkinghorne, late inclusion in the team. Max Tate was left out of the side. Ball goes to ground. Carter Prendergast's at the bottom of the pack. He is tackled by a number of Roosters, and the umpire says he'll have it. 9-7, 61 plays 8-9, 57 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. The familiar side of Mount Buninyong being closed in by mist and fog, starting to happen right now as the day continues to unfold. Bit of bustling, body on body, as Tom Bromley Lynch, son of Dizzy, takes the mark. Called out there on that occasion was Sam Scally as the mark's taken by his teammate in Riley Polkinghorn. Kick forward. Well, the target on that occasion was Ryan Polkinghorn, but the Swans did well in defence. And here's our man Reece Perry once again. He's been very solid. Perry squares that up to Swain. Roosters assessing their options moving forward. Called to play on by the umpire. Swain looks for Perry. Just a little bit of late work coming in from Fletcher Loader, but Perry does well. Very short option, travelling just the necessary distance. And the Swans have it defensive side of centre wing. That was Drever. Drever's kick. Domic goes to ground. In fact, a bit of front on contact, I suspect there, Brett.
Yeah, I'd love to see this guy's stats. I know we've spoken about him a lot today, but he's had a heap of the footy.
Oh, Gibson. It was real body-on-body stuff. Just 25 metres out from the Swans' goal, but Gibson, just with the superior strength there on that occasion, gets up a little gingerly.
It looks like he's got a bit of a lower leg.
Oh, he plays on, kicks around the corner, kicks truly. Swans back in front.
This is just a cracking contest, Wes, as Josh Gibson comes from the ground. He doesn't look too bad, just a little bit of a soreness link down around that left ankle. But, the Swans and North Ballarat both playing a great brand of footy. And I'll say it again, it's going to start at the source. It's going to start at this centre contest. Whoever can win it can then sort of condense that ground and make it a three-quarter ground game and really put pressure on the opposition defence.
26 minutes gone in this third term in the Ballarat Toyota match of the day, and the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard says it's the Swans 9-9-63, 2-point leaders over the Roosters 9-7-61. McCallum back in the ruck, Powling, ball to ground, takeaway with Riley Polkinghorn. Inside 50, awkward bouncing football, bounced square that on that occasion. Really set a task for Isaac Loverson and eventually over the boundary line.
Our magnet again, Wes.
It's uncanny the number of times the ball has gone out of bounds over that particular pocket. You'd imagine there's some sort of howling breeze heading over in that direction, and that's just not the case here at Mars Stadium. We've got a great day for footy. McCallum, front position, fists forward, ball at ground level. Arts was part of the action. There's Jamie Quick. Hodgson, and might have been Loader, in fact, spun around. They concede ground, but wisely so, as eventually the Roosters do use that to go forward. Ball bounces to the back of the pack. Riley Polkinghorn is forced over the boundary line once again, and the margin remains at 2 points to the favour of the Swans. Just 2 points separated these two sides when they met last year, Brett.
Yeah, and then, look, it could go either way here, Wes. It could be the same margin.
Ball thrown in. Powling from behind. Fist the ball to the front of the pack. Heavy tackle, no prior opportunity, and understandably the umpire adjudicates and says, I'll throw it up, boys, with 28 minutes having gone in this third term. Ball to ground, Daniel Kennedy. Good work by Kennedy. Thinks to take a bounce, but then wisely chooses to kick, although perhaps the execution isn't quite as he would have liked because it is over the boundary line on the full, and they'll hand the footy back to the Roosters.
Josh Gibson just getting some attention down in the boundary on his calf muscles. He doesn't look too injured. He should be back, hopefully, for a big last quarter.
That's the thing, as we spoke about with both McCartan and Andrew Hooper missing today's game. You just want your best players out there. We want the best players out there for the spectacle.
Absolutely. He could be the guy that stands up, when it's really needed.
Long kick from the Swans. Almost a mark taken there on that occasion by Paddy Simpson. Ball to ground. Trying to burst his way through the pack. The Swans, and the umpire says we'll have another ball up. There's been plenty of ball ups today. The umpires have certainly been an integral part of the action.
Absolutely.
Done a good job today, though. They've kept control of a really fierce, tightly fought contest played by two terrific sides. Kick forward by the Roosters. Getting across is Nick Waitman, and he's happy to see the ball over the boundary line once again. And maybe as we joke about the magnet that is drawing the footy across to that side, it's reflective of, one, the way in which the Swans are defending, and also, two, how the Roosters are attacking.
Absolutely. The Roosters aren't getting many really dangerous entries, and it's the Swans' pressure really making them go wide.
Well, the Swans can bring it away from their defensive 50 right now. The kick into space. Here's a genuine opportunity if it sits right. Oh, it's an awkward sort of bounce for Drever, but he does well. He's 52, and the kick partially smothered there on that occasion by Bromley Lynch. He does very well in turn. So this is where, on the rebound, the Roosters can actually damage the Swans. Perry steps back, cops a heavy contact from behind. Geez, a courageous player, that Perry. The ball worked towards the central corridor now, and the mark's taken by Riley Polkinghorne. Polkinghorne swings around onto the right. He's got a one-on-one situation. The ball over the top of the contest, and it bounces through for our first behind of the quarter as the Roosters move along to 9-8-62. They draw within one solitary point of the Swans, 9-9-63 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard.
Yeah, we have a thriller here, Wes. And just a couple of things. Ballarat defenders just letting the ball get over the back. They really need to seal that off.
Long kick in on that occasion by the Swans. The Roosters will send it straight back in 50, and there's Perry. He's taken a number of intercept marks, Reece Perry, today.
Yeah, I reckon he's marked the ball 6, 7, 8 times, and he's just been really courageous.
So Perry surveys the landscape in front. He's called to play on, and he hugs that wing on the outer side of the ground. The ball fisted forward by the Swans. Opportunity for Daniel Kennedy if he can keep the ball inside, and he does on this occasion. He uses Keegan Mellington, although the Roosters win it back. Opportunity for Fletcher Loader. They head towards 50 once again. Swans have got numbers. I'm not quite sure that was a clear disposal, and it wasn't.
31 minutes gone. You need the Swans defenders and midfielders. Everyone just get back now so to stop North Ballarat scoring.
The Roosters set to go inside 50 once again, hugging that right forward pocket. The big leap came from Hodgson, but the Swans get numbers back. Here's Sutton, uses a teammate, and the Swans can bring it forward through the agency of Tom Mooney. And now the Swans' defensive side of centre. They've got a little bit of room in which to move now as players flood forward. Fatigue starting to set in late in this third term. Long kick forward, drifting back, and taking a really good mark is Isaac Carey.
That was a terrific mark, Wes. What a quarter.
32-minute quarter. It was 4-1, and the Ballarat Swans turned a 16-point deficit into a 1-point advantage. We are going to go to the break, 9-9-63 to 9-8-62 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Brett, just before we do go to the break, just a quick reflection on what was a very entertaining third term.
Spoken outwork a little bit around the context of the quarter compared to the previous two quarters. Both sides played a spare man in defence, which really made it early on in that quarter. But I just felt the Swans started to get a little bit more run. They looked better on top of the ground. And they just seem really up and about, and they've had some really good contributors. North Ballarat, it's probably time, for a couple of their taller players to really start taking some clunks, marking the ball around the ground and getting the ball to their smalls at ground level, and particularly in centre clearance. Win centre clearance, you're going to win this game because of the way both sides are setting up with a spare in defence.
Thanks so much, Brett Henderson, providing comments today. Dominic Mellington, James and Gibson, the goal kickers for the Swans in the third term. Arts, the solitary goal kicker for the Roosters. And the Ballarat Toyota match of the day, the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard says that at three-quarter time, it is the Swans 9-9-63, leading the Roosters 9-8-62.
Australia, meet your new McCafe blend. Roasted and blended in Melbourne. Smoother, richer, and crafted for Aussies who love great coffee. The new McCafe blend. Now that's coffee fit for an Aussie.
As proud sponsors of the Ballarat Football Netball League, we love supporting local.
And love community sport, and we encourage everyone to get out there, support your local football and netball league, and of course, support local business.
Welcome back to the Ballarat Toyota match of the day with Wes Cusworth and Brett Henderson. What a cracking contest we have befitting of the match of the day. 9-9-63, Ballarat Swans play 9-8-62. Fourth quarter about to get underway as the umpire hurls the footy up between the two ruckmen. And the ball to ground once again. Here's an opportunity for the Roosters to go forward, although the kick is just a bit of a kick and hope on that occasion. It turns it straight back to the Swans. Waitman sends it out wide. Domic, who's been very, very prevalent and prominent, kicks to the advantage of his teammate in Will Garner. Comes in board on full stretch. Good, courageous mark. Keegan Mellington.
Like the red lights be flashing for me in the North Ballarat coaching box now. I think Domic's just got to be shut down, Wes. He just got width out wide. And that was a terrific mark, great transition, and they just seem to have the momentum at the moment.
Well, they certainly dominated that third quarter. As much as they kicked 4 goals to 1, they seemed to have even more footy than that, didn't they, really? They went forward so many times. Here's Keegan Mellington for number 3. One of many left-footers in this Ballarat Swans lineup, and they go to him now as the crowd here at Mars Stadium tells something of the story. Mellington kicks his 3rd goal of the game, and that's the greatest margin that the Swans have enjoyed as they go to 10-9, 69 to 9-8, 62 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard.
Just really good transition. Players able to use the width of the ground. And I've been really impressed with Ballarat's Will Garner. I just think he's been a really solid contributor down forward today for Ballarat. I think Wes, for North Ballarat to win this game, I really believe that young Loader needs to start having that impact once again in the midfield. He was terrific in the second quarter.
So Brendan McCartney's Roosters have got a bit of work ahead of them now. The ruckmen go at it once again. Loader was up against Powling, and the whistle sounds, and the umpire says we'll have another ball up. The Roosters just marginally into attack. Loader and Powling go at it again. Powling with a significant height advantage. The Roosters inside 50 now. Working his way to the front was Arts. Couldn't hold on to the footy. Nice gather by Jamie Quick. Retreats with the handball. Off to Hotchin, who goes back further. Although they've turned it over. Here's the Swans through the agency of Baldwin. And now kicking to the commentary side of the ground. Handy tap on if, in fact, Keegan Mellington can keep it in, which he unfortunately can't for the Swans. 69 plays 62 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. The Swans leading by that 7-point margin after the Roosters have led for the bulk of the game.
And once again, I'll get a drop off here, the Swans, with Waitman, who's been really good, just sort of dropping back off, being a sparing defence.
Loader with front position, ball to ground. Whistle sounds, called to play on now, the Roosters, with an opportunity. Oh, the fumble was costly, unfortunately, for Jamie Quick. And the Swans remind him of it. And the boundary umpire comes into play right in front of the Swans interchange. Throw in now. Work to ground. Good physical contest, this one. Roosters have the numbers. Not escaping there on that occasion, and the ball held in once again. We'll have another ball up.
Once again, Waitman just letting his play go up to the contest.
Powling, good leap by Loader on that occasion. Wins it to ground. Loader. Loader finds Loader there on that occasion. Bursting away from the pack was Waitman. His kick to half forward, and that is, I'm not sure if it was exactly as intended, but it falls the way of Mellington, which was very good. Gibson on the lead. Takes the mark. And Gibson will kick for goal from 40 metres out, and a fairly tight angle, particularly for a left footer.
We did speak about him coming out and having a real impact when the game's there to be won. This is his opportunity now, Wes.
I did hear that the idea of him playing back was a bit of a furphy. His shot on goal now is curling from left to right, but not enough, and the margin is 8 points as the Swans move along to 10-10-70, leading the Roosters 9-8-62 with that miss by Josh Gibson.
I don't know, Wes. I just seem to sense that the Swans just have a bit more run in them. They just seem to be covering the ground a little bit better. But as we know, footy can swing around pretty quickly.
Well, what we know about Brendan McCartney is that any side that he coaches will be giving 100%, whether they're able to match the opposition in terms of skill or fitness. One will imagine they'll be so disciplined that they'll take this right to the death.
Absolutely.
They're in deficit by 8 points at the moment. They have the footy at right half back. Gibson stands the mark. Hodgson is squaring the kick. Finds his teammate in Toos, who goes further square. And now they're just kind of trying to create a bit of space on the fat side of the ground through the agency of Clay Jenkins. And his kick is finding a teammate further afield. Sam Scally, I suspect it is, as he comes back in board. Hodgson just weaving their way forward, trying to get through this Swans web. Ooh, that's a tough kick. It was just a little short on that occasion for his teammate. And deemed not to have disposed of adequately, and Charlie Perks has been knocked off. Big up and under from Mooney. That opens the door for the Roosters' defence to at least spoil. And now an opportunity for Perks to redeem. Uses the outside of the boot. Pretty clever kick there on that occasion.
They seem more intent on kicking the ball. I don't know if it was an instruction from Brendan at three-quarter time, but they've sort of taken that frenetic pace off the ball.
Swans at half-back. Handball opens the door to a 50-50. Now Baldwin. Baldwin senses a teammate out wide, and he's right in finding Garner, who in turn finds Carter Prendergast. Heading towards 50 now. Cut off by Jenkins. It's rebounding between defensive 50s right at the moment. Using the corridor. Taken by the Swans, wrapped up in the tackle.
Really, yeah. Sorry, well, it's really important there that the Ballarat player didn't just give up the ball security, really just held it in so it didn't bubble out.
Sun shining brightly here at Mars Stadium, and a long shadow being cast by the stand on the commentary side of the ground, reaching out across the centre circle. And now Ballarat Toyota match of the day. It's an 8-point game. The Swans with an opportunity. Little kick forward. Unselfish. Clever work on that occasion by Jack Blackburn. Finds his teammate further afield.
Two guys that have been absolutely instrumental in this Swans comeback. Marcus Powling and Aidan Domick. Powling's been absolutely huge in the ruck. Gets it to Domick. Domick uses it really well. Prendergast, who was a little bit feisty earlier on in the game, now has a really big opportunity to hurt North Ballarat in the scoreboard.
Lawson Prendergast directly in front. Will kick from 35. Comes in now and makes no mistake. 14 points the margin. And the Swans really continuing. Their momentum is their way.
Look, through that last quarter, it just looked like North Ballarat were going to blow the Swans out of the water. Chance to go 5-6 goals up. And since then, it's sort of just been one-way traffic, and, as I said, I think Marcus Powling has been absolutely sensational in the ruck for Ballarat.
Well, it's a 6-goal-to-1 second half, which has been enormous. So, really, the Roosters need to stand up now. There's a high tackle. It's going to go the way of Riley Polkinghorne. Play on to advantage. Tom Bromley-Lynch. McCallum the target. He's been pushed forward. I just wonder whether he's perhaps struggling with a little bit of a niggling injury. The fact that he's gone forward and they've taken him out of the ruck. Obviously, he was making a really even contest against Powley. But obviously, that's just opened the door for the Swans a little bit, hasn't it?
It has. He just looks a little bit sore. And great from Waitman then to be that third or second defender up to sort of intercept that ball coming into him.
Quick kick forward by the Roosters, and it's cut off by the Swans at just inside defensive 50. The mark's taken by Jake Drever. Drever kicked a terrific second quarter goal. Swans now at defensive side of centre wing. The mark's taken by Domick, who has had plenty of experience at good footy. Worm-burning kick. He really did set his teammate a task there on that occasion, but equal to the occasion is Lawson Prendergast. He's called to play on. Up and under kick to the offensive side of centre wing, fisted away, and happy to see the ball over the boundary line for a throw-in. 11-10 plays 9-8 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. It's the Swans in the ascendancy.
Yeah, I think North Ballarat are going to have to get going here, Wes. They're going to have to start looking at taking a little bit more of a risk with the footy.
Bromley Lynch. Roosters weaving their way through the pack. High kick forward now. Oh, left to take the mark by himself was Isaac Loverson. Moves the ball on. His riding been quiet in this second half. His kick is a little too heavily weighted, and that opens the door for the Swans from half back. Blackburn has been held without possession.
And that was really important because that's the first time for a while that I've actually seen North Ballarat outnumbering the Ballarat players around the contest.
Blackburn, chip kick. Carter Prendergast. He's got a couple of options out wide. And he moves it on very quickly and finds Sam Fisher. Although his kick is providing a problem for Taylor Sutton, they turn it over. The kick forward, now an opportunity for Harry Loader. Loader inside 50. The foot race is on. Jamie Quick leads it at the moment. Can he snag a quick goal? Yes, he can.
Well, that was just a series of errors from Ballarat, unfortunately. Like they transitioned the ball out, they made the ground bigger, got out to the open side, kick didn't hit the target, turned the footy over, probably missed a chance to kill the ball over near the boundary. Player lost his feet, unfortunately, and then a missed tackle really in the goal square. Probably had 3 opportunities to either halve the footy or win it. And now, once again, it's breathed some life into North Ballarat.
Oh, they just needed to see it over the line, didn't they, for a rush behind the Swans. They didn't take their opportunities there, but good on Jamie Quick. He kicks his second goal of the game. The first came in the first term. And the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard says 11-10-76, the Swans, the Roosters 10-8-68. Cracking contest, 8 points separate the two sides. And look who's back in the ruck for North Ballarat Roosters. Big McCallum, who's got the footy right now. Bit of a no-look handball from the Swans. Bit of a handball and hope there on that occasion. Prendergast, dispossessed of the footy. Wrapped up in the tackle there on that occasion was Drever. And the umpire intervenes and says we'll have a ball up.
Once again, Waitman's been able to create himself as a loose, although now he's going back to being engaged.
McCallum up against Powling. Certainly provides a more even contest, whereas we found O'Brien and Loader were really set a task against a much bigger man.
It is really important that your forwards engage the opposition defence at stoppage. Really important.
And now the Swans have got a ruck problem as Powling appears to be hurt. He may have copped a cork, I suspect. He'll be happy, even though he's got his back to the fact that his teammate wins a free kick. That's Sam James. James inside 50. Gibson with an opportunity. Taken on this occasion by Tom Mooney. Mooney shot on goal is a goal. Quick answer from the Swans. They're back out to a 14-point advantage.
Well, it was sort of a bit of a kick it and see, and it just seemed to manoeuvre itself towards the goal, Wes, and it was a terrific goal for them. But look, the loss of Powling could be significant, and hopefully they can get him back on. Even if he's a little bit sore, I'd be considering, if he hasn't got anything structurally wrong with him, just putting him deep in the goal square, one-on-one in the goal square, so they've got a tall target to kick to.
I think Lawson Prendergast is also a little bit hurt. So they've got a few boys. The way Powling's limping around right at the moment, I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. So this is a real opportunity for the Roosters. They need to take an opportunity to try to exploit this. And McCallum does that with a big fist forward. He needs to create something. The Roosters need a quick response. They've got an opportunity inside 50, although losing possession there was Harry Loader. The ball goes to ground. Wrapped up as a pack forms around the footy, and the umpire wisely intervenes and says we'll have a ball up 40 metres out from the Roosters' goal as they are kicking to the western end of Mars Stadium.
I just think now North Ballarat want as many stoppages as possible with Powling off the ground. They want to be able to win these, and they've won the ball back again. I know McCallum didn't really have a big influence in that last ruck contest, but they got the opportunity now to take bigger risks.
Well, Powling's right in front of us now, and he has done a hammy. He's getting treatment with ice on a hammy, and in the meantime, the Roosters have got a shot on goal, and they need to make the most of this opportunity. They're in arrears by 14 points as they kick to the western end. Big shot on goal coming up for Fletcher Loader. Won't go the journey. It's off hands through for a behind, and the margin's reduced by that single point to 13 points.
And it kills you even in that instance because you haven't got Powling on the goal line just to make sure it's killed off.
Swans, cautious, coming out of defence with the kick in. Chip kick once again. Liston, the recipient, takes it 49 metres out from defensive goal, goes out very, very wide, sets his teammate a task, and that has gone the journey out of bounds on the full and hands the footy back to the Roosters, and they need to capitalise now as we're at the midway point of this fourth term.
Absolutely. The Swans at the moment got a little bit of leverage on the scoreboard, but as I said, you know, they just can't afford to get sort of caught up into a stoppage game.
So the Roosters want to move it on very quickly, playing on, and the kick partially smothered there on that occasion, although they'll win another opportunity. The Swans win it back. Good heavy tackle there by Elliot Lamb. Liston gets a hurried kick away. Oh, they might be out, the Swans, and if they can put another one on here, they can really hurt the Roosters' chances. Great run-down tackle by John O'Brien. Gee, that's desperate footy. That's what you want to see from a coach.
Oh, absolutely. Dominic streaming into perhaps, you know, the sealer. So, you know, gives them another chance to really, you know, attack Ballarat.
I'm sure Brendan McCartney would be very, very happy with that. McCallum, the target for O'Brien, and he's held without possession as McCartney continues to ring the changes, riding and Polkinghorne back into the action as the Roosters go forward. An opportunity emerges, although that's good work by Reece Perry. Puts his head over the football once again. Liston's there. He might be the recipient here as Blackburn does a bit of weaving and finds a teammate. So the Swans centre wing, looking to half forward and over the boundary line once again. Beautiful sunny day here in Ballarat for the Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Hope you're enjoying it. 12-10 plays 10-8 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard.
Cameron McCallum needs to be the outlet player for North Ballarat. They need to kick it to him as much as possible, right? And they need to get stoppages for him as much as possible.
Well, he got a kick away there, and now an opportunity may emerge for North Ballarat if they can keep the ball alive here and out of the contest. That was a fantastic piece of football. Riding now, unleashes, and an opportunity for Elliot Lamb, and he goes! 17 minutes into this fourth and final term, and they've got their 11th.
Well, this is a real conundrum now. Powling off. They've now thrown Mitch McGrath into the ruck. And look, he's going to have to jump over McCallum, but, you know, McCallum is just going to have such an influence on this game. And now really important that the Ballarat defenders are aware of the fact that he's probably just going to go for yardage. He's going to try and put the Ballarat defenders under as much pressure as possible from every stoppage, particularly centre bounce.
Well, I've got a slightly different score to the scoreboard. The scoreboard says 11-8-74, and it is 75. I've got confirmation it's actually 11-9-75 to 12-10-82. It's a 7-point ball game. We've got a cracking contest, and as I said, Hendo, it's not only the on-field action, but the scoreline is now reflecting the sort of thing that we want to see in the Ballarat Toyota match of the day, a contest that's going to go the distance.
Absolutely, and another injury concern for Ballarat was Sam James looking like he's hurt his right knee.
Ball to ground, opportunity for the Roosters. They're 48 metres out from goal. Both teams' players fatiguing significantly, and we'll have another ball up.
But Ballarat are now playing against the clock, all right, and North Ballarat because they don't want too many stoppages just yet.
McCallum fists a footy forward. The Swans take it, sweeping handball over the top. Bailey Fraser in pole position, does take possession. Kick goes higher than it does long, and then fisted over the line by his teammate in Will Garner, looking for the refuge of the boundary.
Well, if it's going to be a stoppage game now, they need to really thicken up the stoppage. Don't allow any easy exits for North Ballarat.
7 points separate the two sides on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Ball thrown in. McCallum front position. Tries to fist it away. Fending Mitch McGrath off. Trying to burst through the pack on that occasion. The Roosters held up and no real progress made there on that occasion by Elliot Lamb.
All right, so they've thrown one more up into the contest, which is great coaching from Ballarat.
McCallum strikes it down with his left paw. Quick kick forward by the Swans. Awkward bouncing footy. Over the boundary line in front of us in the commentary position. 11-9 plays 12-10.
How long to go do you think, Wes? 10 minutes?
Well, the scoreboard time clock actually started a minute or so late, so I reckon about 10 minutes left in this contest. It hasn't been a huge scoring quarter, just 4 goals kicked. Opportunity now for Tom Bromley-Lynch. He's fighting furiously, although he has to use his body to fend off his Swans rival, opening the door for Arts, but the handball's misguided. Now falls to the advantage of Domick if he can take it. He's dispossessed. Roosters supporters call for a free kick. The umpire not interested. Of course, there's a Roosters Past Players Day premiership reunion in the rooms today, so they've all come out to enjoy this contest now, and they may be getting vocal as the final few minutes of our game plays out. The Roosters with an opportunity moving forward. They do so via Lamb. Catches the outside of the boot, sky high kick, riding goes to ground. Jamie Quick's in the action. Oh, he's holding on to his rival who does very, very well to get a kick away. Perry races across to provide a contest and is happy to see the ball over the boundary line on the outer side of the ground where the big trucks continue to roll around the showgrounds here at Ballarat.
Yeah, look, it's anyone's game still, Wes, and North Ballarat really starting to push, Ballarat. They're starting to get a lot more forward entries.
12-10 plays 11-9 on the Ballarat Toyota match of the day scoreboard. And we'll have another ball up. Players on both sides awfully fatigued. It's been a furious paced game. McCallum, he's dominating the ruck since he's come on and Powling's gone off. I hope Powling's okay, but it looked like he had done a hammy. McCallum, the big fella, comes into the action once again, throws the ball on the boot, long kick to goal, and it's just to the left side of the big post.
Two things they've got to stop here, Wes. They can't let McCallum just pluck the ball out of the ruck, but they've also got to start a player back probably about 5 metres to his hit zone. Make sure that they're covering that off and not allowing the North Ballarat players just to run freely onto the ball in space.
The Swans lead by 6 points on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. As we hit the 23-minute mark of our final term. The Swans are out here. Opportunity for Prendergast. Kicks forward. Spots up a teammate. They need to get it inside 50. They're trying to create a bit of space in which to move. And Gibson, the recipient, and a player of his class, albeit that he's been struggling with a bit of a niggling calf. He wants to play on it. He does so. He swings around, opens up the angle on the left, and he misses to the near side. And the margin back out to 7 points on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard.
Look, it could be a handy point, Wes. Like we're almost 23 and a half minutes in. There may only be that 5-6 minutes left. So, it's now up to Ballarat to really condense and make it really heavy inside their forward line. Just keep the ball in there.
What can the Roosters conjure up in these final few minutes? They're in deficit by 7 points. They have possession inside defensive 50. They use the commentary wing, although turning it over. And the mark's taken by Nick Waitman. Waitman moves it on quickly. Kicks high into the corridor. Dangerous footy. Domick off to Gibson. Could be the sealer. Gibson steams in, kicks the goal.
Great play. Nick Waitman, I think, has just been terrific down back today. Been really good. Domick, fantastic as we've spoken about. Gibson's had his moments. He's probably, he's kicked a couple now, I think. It's probably going to make it pretty difficult for North Ballarat, but I'm sure Brendan McCartney's probably sent the message out, okay, we're taking the game on, all right? We're giving handball runs receives from behind. We're going through the corridor. Let's just go for broke. So Ballarat, on the other hand, will be looking for some slow tempo play.
(13-11) plays 11-10 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Back in action now as the Roosters go forward once again. The intended target was Sam Arts, and the ball fisted away, and the umpire says we'll have a throw in on half forward, the southern side of the ground here at Mars Stadium on this absolutely picturesque day for Ballarat footy and the Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Boundary umpire wisely comes well inside. McCallum tries to palm it across to a teammate, but the ball goes to ground, and it's a contested footy once again, and we'll have another ball up.
Okay, so this is now the time, I reckon, Wes, where they do want stoppage. All right, they've got some insurance on the scoreboard. Let's keep soaking up some time. Keep the ball in tight.
25 minutes gone. We have had long quarters, so there is time enough, one would suggest, for the Roosters if they're good enough, but they really need to make things happen pretty smartly now. They have it in defensive 50, and running into a bit of strife there was Ryan Hobbs. He eventually got it off to a teammate in Clay Jenkins, and that is good footy by the Swans. That is exactly what you want, stoppage football in this late stage of the fourth term.
And once again, Wes, it's just in that position of the ground where the ball continually goes over the boundary line, and they can just thicken up the stoppage now, make it really difficult for North Ballarat to exit.
Ball thrown in, McCallum on the left. Palms it down, but it's taken by the Swans. They go inside 50. Gibson was about fourth in line. He claims the mark, but it's called wisely play on. Drevel with a step on goal, misses to the near side.
All right, so I'm expecting this kick in to go straight down the middle. Ballarat need to really make sure they've got coverage in the middle of the ground. Don't give them the corridor. They can't afford just to go wide and short with this kick.
13-12-90 plays 11-10-76. It's the Swans in the ascendancy by that 14-point margin, and good work there by Perry, just ensuring that there was no real progress made by the Roosters, and we'll have another boundary throw in on right half forward for the Swans.
Just made it easy for Ballarat to defend. They really needed, I think, just to take the corridor then, Wes. High risk.
Ball over the top of both ruckmen. McCallum doing some roving as the ball bounces awkwardly for players of both sides. Here's an opportunity for the Roosters through Riley Polkinghorne, but it spills free. Eventually the Roosters do take possession. Quick kick forward. The Swans have got the numbers. They're holding up pretty well. Opportunity for Drever. Worm-burning kick. Awkward bouncing football for the Swans forwards. Drever follows up his kick, and he's down there to provide a contest. So too a heavy tackle by Keegan Mellington, and they lock it inside, attacking 50.
Once again, Ballarat able to manufacture a spare behind the ball, so it's going to make it really hard for North Ballarat to score here.
McCallum fists it. Not a real clean contact there on that occasion, and I suspect the umpires will come into action once again.
The spare for Ballarat in a bit of a strange position. I think he needs to come over in line with the footy. He's coming over now, I think. That's it.
13-12 plays 11-10 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Opportunity. Shot on goal comes from Will Liston. He is missing to the near side. 15 points separates the two sides. The Swans in the ascendancy by that margin. No time to waste for the Roosters.
This is better. That's it. High risk. Not going to win the game going wide.
Straight up the middle. McCallum had pole position, but the ball was fisted away by two smaller Swans. Now an opportunity for the Roosters. Awkward kick there. Fletcher Loader had to sit underneath it. And there's a hold. And it's going to go the way of the Swans. Commentary side of the ground. Kick to half forward. Mark spilt there on that occasion by the Roosters. Ball to ground. Sweeping handball out to the favour of O'Brien. It'll come back to O'Brien. In fact, it misses its target and it's over the boundary line. Just to the side of the interchange gates as the coaches continue to ring the changes. 13-13 plays 11-10. Big fellas go at it body on body. Hurried kick off the ground by Adam Turley. First to the footy is Bailey Fraser, dispossessed. Good work by Jamie, quick to keep it in and finds a target further afield in Tom Hodgson on full stretch. Hodgson, he's got a square option in riding, chooses not to go there. And I suspect that he's going to settle over the footy right now. Bailey Fraser looks a bit sore right in front of us there, Hendo.
Yeah, I think he's just got slammed into the ground. He got a bit of a corked hip, so hopefully he'll be okay.
Hodgson, shot on goal, kicks to a hot spot. Swans have got the numbers and they're happy to see it over the boundary line as we close in on the 30-minute mark of our fourth and final quarter in the Ballarat Toyota match of the day.
You just throw nearly every player into this stoppage now, you know. 16 points up, 15 points up. It's going to be really difficult for North Ballarat. Just smother them. Don't give them any life.
McCallum front position. McGrath doing the ruck work against him. Roosters, quick snap on goal. Has hit the woodwork. So the margin back to 14 points.
So now it's just a kick in for Ballarat. Find the 100% option. Take your time. Milk the clock.
Just about retaining possession. Keeping's off now.
Absolutely, Wes.
13-13 plays 11-11 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Swans can control the tempo. They go with a handball. Here's Perry. Perry uses the commentary side of the ground. Fisted to ground. Drever with a kick. Bounces awkwardly for players in Sam James and also his rival in Isaac Loverson.
Good to see James back out there. He looked like he had a bit of an issue with his knee, 20 minutes ago. But he seems to be moving pretty freely.
Yeah, you never want to see players injured. It's just such a shame. I want to see the guys out there. McCallum, Bromley Lynch. Up and under but for the Roosters. And held up right in front of us on centre wing. Ryan Polkinghorn kicks forward, but the Swans have got the numbers back again, and this time it's Nick Waitman who can take a little further time off the clock. He's going to wait until the umpire forces him to play on, which he does now. Waitman sends it sky high. McCallum front position. Fists it to ground. The Swans front and square. Ooh. Taking ground the Roosters. And Ryan Polkinghorn is the last to get off the ground.
I think Mitch McGrath's just about cooked, Wes. Looks like he's cramping in just about both legs.
Good smother there on that occasion by Aidan Domick. Roosters go forward. Diving mark. Good work by Nick Waitman.
He's been huge today, Wes, I reckon. It's defensively huge.
Yeah, plays a good game.
Yep, as has Perry.
He retreats. Perry in possession of the footy as the siren sounds to end our round 3 Ballarat Toyota match of the day. And the Ballarat Swans, after trailing for the bulk of the contest, have prevailed by 14 points. 13-13, 91 to the Roosters, 11-11, 77. A most entertaining contest. And just as Brett Henderson gathers his thoughts on the best players and the reason why the Swans have prevailed, I can tell you that at quarter time it was the Roosters leading by 4 points. They lead by 16 points at the half. They trailed by 1 at three-quarter time, and ultimately it's the Swans running out winners, 13-13, 91 to 11-11, 77 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. And Brett Henderson, we've been able to witness what's been a most entertaining game, and once again, as I said before, most befitting of the Ballarat Toyota match of the day.
Oh, look, Wes, it's been a while since I've seen a Ballarat League game, and that was really impressive. It was a great game of footy. Two contrasting styles of game plans, I thought North Ballarat really wanted to take it on in the back half, flick the ball around by hand, whereas Ballarat was probably more happier just to kick their way out of defence. And it was a titanic struggle. And, in the end, it was a pretty courageous win by Ballarat, considering they lost Marcus Powling, who I think was in the best 3 players on the ground today. I thought he was absolutely sensational.
Well, as part of our Carlton Draft post-game summary, I did say that I was hoping that, albeit that these are unofficial votes, who would you give your votes to if you were deciding the 3, 2 and 1 from today's contest? Because early on it was looking all the way for North Ballarat Roosters, but the reality is the Swans forced their way back into the contest, and there were some key players that made that happen. But you're the man for the special comments. You're the man that knows the intricacies and the nuances of the game of football, and How would you adjudicate?
Well, it's a pretty tough one. I mean, Ballarat have only won by 14 points, but I just felt that the game sort of changed about halfway through the second quarter, and they just had dominance in a lot of areas. North Ballarat had some great players. I thought, Sam Arts was, really steady. At times today, we had Harry Loader really doing some grunt work in the middle, and I liked what he produced. Riley Polkinghorn had his moments. McCallum was really good in a ruck at the end. But look, if I was going to give 3, 2 and 1, I'd probably have to go nearly all Ballarat. And I know in a sort of tightish game that may have some controversy around it. But I just thought Aidan Dominick's game really changed the way that things were going. I thought he was brilliant in the midfield. Went off the wing into the middle. I thought Powling was sensational in the ruck, and I just thought the general down back was Nick Waitman. I just thought his game got better and better as it went, and he just really, nuffed out any chance of North Ballarat scoring.
Well, Brad, it's been an absolute pleasure having the opportunity to catch up with you again after a few years of a long time of knowing you, but a few years of not having done anything with you in this regard. But the opportunity to call the Ballarat Toyota Match of the Day has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so very much. Just a reminder to those people viewing, wherever you may be, that Keegan Mellington kicked 3 goals for the Swans, Josh Gibson kicked 2, and the multiple goal kickers for North Ballarat Roosters were Jamie Quick and also Jack Riding. Thanks to our sponsors, Ballarat Toyota, of course. They are the sponsor of the Match of the Day and also the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. McCafe provided our halftime break, and Carlton Draft post-game summary as provided by Brett Henderson. Hendo, thank you so very much.
No, thank you, Wes. It's just been a pleasure. I've watched your journey over the last 10, 15 years, and to reconnect and actually be able to work with you again is absolutely fantastic. And I think very highly of you in the work that you do and your professionalism. So certainly happy to say that I've worked with Wes Cusworth calling a game of footy.
Good on you, Hendo. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen, our Ballarat Toyota Match of the Day. After the Roosters held the ascendancy for the early phase of our game, it was the Swans winning 13-13-91 by 14 points over the North Ballarat Roosters, 11-11-77. On behalf of Brett Henderson and also Peter and Caleb, in terms of their support with regard to the production of our coverage today, we wish you well and hope you can join us again in future occasions for the Ballarat Toyota Match of the Day.
As proud sponsors of the Ballarat Football Netball League, we love supporting local.
And love community sport, and we encourage everyone to get out there, support your local football and netball league, and of course, support local business.
Australia, meet your new McCafe blend. Roasted and blended in Melbourne. Smoother, richer, and crafted for Aussies who love great coffee. The new McCafe blend. Now that's coffee fit for an Aussie.